nothing wrong with putting or smoking. Weed wasn't illegal, so yeah, and I wasn't doing anything. Yeah, but we just started.
Yeah.
So how about you guys tell everyone who you are and what you do?
I'm Jess, and I design everything for Brain Graffiti.
My name's Matt. I am the journalistic side of Brain Graffiti, and I take the concert photographs that are featured in Brain Graffiti.
And tell everyone what Brain Graffiti is.
Brain Graffiti is a music zine for like literally every local band, even some unlocal bands, but yeah, just gives them a platform to talk to their fans, get to know like what's behind the music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a very journalistic thing. You know what I mean? Just we meet up with bands in person,
Yeah.
Chat with them in green rooms. You know what I mean? Ask them questions. So yeah.
How long have you been doing this for?
Well, we released our we released our first issue end of November of last year, but the idea for it actually started about this time last year, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you guys are a little bit younger. So have you always wanted to do journalism, photojournalism, interviewing? Is this something you've been wanting to do for some time?
Yeah, for me, it's been something that I've been wanting to do for a little while. Yeah, and then my girlfriend, Jess, she's a great collage artist and graphic designer. So, and I can't graphic design or collage work for shit. So, like, I can't do any of that stuff. So Jess is the other 50% of Brain Graffiti that when you look at it, like the reason why you're drawn into it visually is that's all Jess, because she is the one that she designed she designed the poster, she designed every single page of the zine, all the stickers, all the pins, all the flyers. Yeah. So yeah, my end is just interviewing the bands and then some of the concert photos.
Okay. So do you do photos as well? Just
I've been dabbling in it recently. I don't know. I really enjoy it. Like I see like you get a high from doing it almost. Just
why do you feel that way?
I think it's just like I was able to capture the moment in a way that I didn't think I was able to, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And like I understand like why there's so many concert photographers. Like it's like it's fun.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
It's also hard to take a photograph while everyone's running around. The poor lighting.
Yeah.
The crowd bumping, moving, vibrations.
Yeah.
So much movement that it's tricky, especially with bad lighting,
Yeah.
It's really hard.
The good thing about that is most of these places like Shubas, like Subterranean upstairs, downstairs, Beat Kitchen, all these DIY things, they don't care about a speed light right on top of the camera. So we're just like using flash all the time.
Yeah.
So that's not really an issue with that part. But
right, certain places won't care.
Certain but think of like the Metro, which I've shot at before, they don't allow flashes, the Aragon Ballroom, Riviera, places like that. You know what I mean?
Bigger locations.
Yes, bigger locations for sure don't allow. Unless, you have an all-access pass and you're with the band or something like that. But
my favorite.
yeah. But, yeah, I mean, yeah.
And do you guys play any music at all? Do you do anything musically?
I'm in a band.
You're in a band. What's your band?
It's called, our band is called Swim Shirt. We're from Elgin. And, yeah. It's I play guitar in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What kind of guitar?
Like what brands?
Well, you play acoustic or electric?
Oh, electric.
What kind of guitar do you
I
play
have
with? He's looking on the wall. He's like, do I have the one here?
I'm like, those are so sick. No, I play a it's like an Epiphone Dot, but like the actual like the body is like a Gibson ES.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like called a Dot, but it's like the same body and everything.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. It's a great guitar.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing.
So you play music. Is this how you got the kind of inside behind the scoop of like doing this thing with Brain Graffiti, but knowing about bands or artists?
That's a whole story.
That's a whole story.
That's a whole story, yeah. So my friend, we both go to Elgin Community College.
You both?
Yes, yes. This is our final year now. Finally.
Nice.
Not really. I'm going to miss ECC.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop going.
I don't want to stop going either.
Trust me, when you go to the next place, you'll enjoy it more. I promise.
So I was just hanging out at ECC with some of my friends, and this kid named Eric. I met this kid named Eric, and I learned that he was in a band. And, you know, we would see each other at school. We would talk because we had a mutual friend. And he eventually one day was like, hey, there's this show at this place called The Dark Room in South Elgin. My band's playing there if you want to come watch us. And I was like, sure. I mean, that sounds really sick. Because the thing is, we've both been into music for our whole entire lives, but we didn't know that there was like a scene, an underground scene of music going on. You know what I mean? So, and the band name was Swim Shirt. So, Jess and I went to the show and we were blown away. Just the amount of energy and passion in the bands, and just like in a basement in South Elgin. You know what I mean? And it was just really, really cool. And eventually I went to go take photos of that band. Jess came with me. It was our first time in Chicago. Were we 19? I think we were 19.
I think we were both 19.
We were
at
both
the
19.
time.
First time driving to Chicago.
Really?
Yeah.
In your whole life, you've never been.
Oh, we've been to Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Okay.
I've been
Like,
to Chicago before, but alone ourselves driving there. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I was like, you live so close. You never been.
Yeah, but our first show in Chicago was at the book club in Wrigleyville, and Eric again invited us out to go and check him out, and that's when I started to get into concert photography. So I bought a camera and everything, and I went, took photos of Swim Shirt and then all the other bands that played that night, and I showed them to Eric and the band after their set, and they're like, "Oh, these are really cool." So I sent it to them, and they posted them and everything, and then a couple days later at school, I saw Eric again. We were talking, whatever, and Eric brought up something about how like, oh yeah, like we're looking for like a rhythm guitarist, and I was like, I play guitar. So yeah, the first band I ever shot as a, I don't want to say concert photographer, but like the first band I ever shot, ended up being the band that I joined.
Isn't that funny how that works?
Yeah, it was awesome.
But it's cool. I mean, I'm assuming you like the band. You're still in it.
Yes.
But it only happened because you took the initiative to like do
Exactly.
the photography. It's a good thing to do. Try new things because it can open up, some other doors that you might want to do. You just didn't know.
Everything started
there.
because of, one, Eric inviting us to that show and us discovering all of this. And two, definitely me starting to shoot photos was a huge part of it. as well.
So 2 years you've been doing this then?
2 years in September.
It was
Yeah.
so like
a
a
year
year
and a half.
Year and a half.
Year and a half, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
early on, and how has it been in the early stages? How have you gotten the word out about Brain Graffiti and just doing like concert photography?
So we could talk about, do you want to talk about Brain Graffiti first, or like chronological order?
Let's do chronological.
Chronological order?
Yeah.
Okay, so I started shooting concert photos because I was inspired by a lot of old photographers in the past. Like this photographer, Glennie Friedman, who's like one of my biggest like idols of photography. He took photos in the 70s of skaters like Tony Alva, Stacy Peralta, like the dog bowl stuff in California during the late 70s. He shot photos of Black Flag, Dead Kennedys in the early 80s and everything. And then he started taking photos of Public Enemy. So he was like ground zero for a lot of stuff. And his photos are just raw and just super like you feel like you're there, even though it's like 40 years in the past. So I saw those photos and I'm like, I want to do that. So that's why I started shooting concerts, and also just because music is absolutely everything to me and to Jess. So yeah, after that, I mean, just started going regularly to shows.
So are you going and taking them and then showing the band, or do you communicate with the band? What are some of the ways you go about doing it?
I was an anxious guy in the beginning, so I think anyone could relate to this. Like you go to the venue, you make eye contact with the band, like you're looking at them, but you don't say something to them the whole entire night. And then when you get home, you DM them on Instagram and say, "Hey, I was at the show. I took photos of you." So it was mostly like I didn't know a lot of these bands at first, of course, because we were just getting into the scene and everything. And like a great example is we went to this. Do you know the venue? I think they're still doing shows. I don't know, called Grandma's House in Jefferson Park. Yeah, so it's like
DIY venue.
Oh yeah, total rinky-dink basement, just like a total murder basement. But they put on some great shows, and the first time that Jess and I went there, this band Moon Rules Apply was playing in another band called Athena. There were other bands playing, but we didn't stay.
Athena. I've worked with them.
Yeah, I took pictures of Athena that night and Moon Rules Apply, And then I hit him up on Instagram and said, hey, I got these photos of you guys, sent it to them. They liked them. And that started the friendship from there. They're awesome guys. Just both those bands are super cool. And yeah, it just started like us going to Chicago like extremely regularly.
Yeah.
I mean, the miles on my car are absolutely nuts.
How far is the drive from Elgin to like the north, side?
No traffic, 40 minutes. Traffic, hour and a half.
Yeah.
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 So it's usually like if we're driving home at like 1 a.m. or like 12, it's like super easy. It's just a breeze. But like
Right.
if we're trying to get there at doors at like 7 or something, it's like
It's the most stressful thing in the
Most
world.
stressful
Are you guys gonna, after community college, come closer? Like try to go to school in the city?
Because I kind of just want to pursue because I do a lot of concert flyers. I just want to like freelance that, and I've always been into like cosmetology. So I'm going to cosmetology school. I'm staying in Elgin for a little bit, and then I hope to move closer to the city.
Yeah.
At some point, because like my life is like down here almost.
Right.
So,
Given what you
Yeah.
are trying to do, what you are currently doing, because there's nothing wrong with not living in a big city. I did everything I did here. I did, just outside the city in the suburbs. It was closer than
Yeah.
Elgin, and Hickory Hill's much closer.
Yeah.
With no traffic when I can get downtown in like
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes. It's like right outside the city. But you can do more living. I can, just because closer access to everything. Now, if I
sure.
want to go to a show at Shuba's, it's like, 15 minutes.
exactly.
With like Chicago dealing with the city.
For us, we got to plan it.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't even have to plan
Yeah.
it. Someone can be like, hey, you want to go to the show tonight, and it's like 7:00 and the show's at 8. I could still like take a shower and go.
Yeah.
Which is great because
Yeah.
even being your age, when I was your age, just outside the city, I would still go to a bunch of stuff. But yeah, it's time consuming. You have to be willing to drive more, stay out later, all the money for it, the gas, the parking, all that.
Yeah.
It does kind of get annoying, but
A little bit, yeah, but we love it so much that it's like,
Yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
worth it.
It's
you're
totally
young
worth
too.
it.
It's new.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
a year and a half, do it, 10 times that.
Yeah.
Drive that far for 16 years. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
we got to get closer.
Exactly.
What are your plans after you get done with the community college?
I think I followed you on LinkedIn, and I see that.
Oh, yeah?
I see that you are you a professor at Columbia College?
At Columbia and at ISU.
Okay.
Illinois State University.
I'm planning on going to Columbia.
Oh, nice.
Actually,
Cool.
Which is
What do you want to study there?
journalism.
Nice.
And photography, of course.
That's
But,
cool.
Yeah.
We'll never cross paths because
Okay.
I'm in, audio design and production,
Yeah.
audio arts and acoustics. So I'm at, the same building.
Okay.
Anytime I'm there, it's
Yeah.
But that's cool though. We'll be near each other.
Yeah. My mom and I actually just did a visit on Thursday,
Oh,
like
cool.
an actual official visit, and it's always that thing, like when my family asked me like, oh, what are you doing with? Not what are you doing with your life, but they asked like, oh, like what are you going to do after ECC? I'm like, I think I'm going to go to Columbia, But it's always just like saying it. I'm just saying that I'm going to go to Columbia,
Yeah.
and I've been doing that for like a year, and I finally went and I looked at it, and it was pretty amazing. It was incredible. The housing there is like nuts. Like it is like the dorms are like crazy. Like yeah, and I'm not planning on boarding or anything. I'm going to commute.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to commute. Yeah, yeah. So I'm
Is
excited
that,
about
an Amtrak commute? A Metro?
Yes.
Metro?
Yes. Then probably I think the CTA is like right there, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
By
Columbia, yeah.
Yeah, there's a CTA right
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I think.
But you're also not too far from like where like Union Station is, where a lot of
Oh,
the trains
you're
go.
right.
You're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
that far. You can walk it.
Yeah.
I commuted there for undergrad and then to the Art Institute for graduate school. It took forever. It was like an hour. By the time I had left my door, walked into class, it was about an hour and 45
wow.
minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I feel your pain.
Yeah.
I did that for 2 different schools, and it was
Wow.
brutal.
Yeah.
But it worked,
Yeah.
I was able to do it because those are expensive schools, so I had to find every way possible to like not spend money.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if that
yeah.
means not housing in the city, then that's what it means,
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back to Brain Graffiti. So you guys do concert photography also with the magazine. Do you do it for the magazine or just a side? It's a side thing, that they're separate.
Well, I mean, it's I just do it separate, just for fun. But it's if I actually brought to go in chronological order. I brought the first issue as well.
Oh, nice.
So that's the second issue, and I think by the time this podcast comes out, we'll have our release show, and it would have been out. So
Yeah.
so that's the first issue,
When's the release show?
April 27th. So coming
yeah.
up.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
won't be out. By
Okay,
then.
cool. Yeah.
Oh, I know Trash. I see him right there.
Yeah, we had totally cashed in this issue. So this is a very, very bare bones. Issue 1 was very much trial and error. Like you can
Yeah.
see the bleed marks at the top of the page and everything.
Mm,
Yeah. Did I use is that the correct term?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
I would never know.
Yeah, it's
So
very
you did the
blocky.
collage work?
Okay, so Jess does. So
Yeah.
So they're my photos. Well, maybe we should talk about
Yeah.
what like.
Yeah, may I explain the process?
So
Okay. Yeah.
what you see is made by. Okay, so when I say this, I always have to like go back. So it's made by hand. When I say that, I mean Jess makes the raw pages by hand, and then we scan them.
Yeah.
And then we go to a printing service, and the printing service prints them out.
Yeah.
So the pages, this was made by hand.
Is it glued?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I glue
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Yeah. So and these are my concert photos. And then just we hit bands up like, hey, we're doing this thing. Do you want to answer some questions that we sent over?
Yeah.
So the first issue was very much. It wasn't like meeting up in person with bands because we really didn't know like
Right.
how we were going to go about it yet. So these were all like Instagram DM questions. So these were like, hey, do you guys want to be a part of the zine? And they're like, yeah, for sure. And then we send them over. That's Brian, who is also in Swim Shirt. He's also in this band as well. So yeah,
They're called Spliff.
yeah, they're called. I'm also wearing their shirt. I love their shirt.
People, probably think you like weed. That's probably about it.
I
That's
love
cool.
their shirt. Yeah. But what was I saying? Oh, so yeah. So this was like, do you guys want to be a
I
part
know
of
them.
Yeah. So do you want to be a part of the zine? They're like, yeah, sure. So then we send the questions over through DMs, and then that's how we got those responses. Issue 2 was very different.
Yeah.
Issue 2 was meeting up in person with bands and talking to them. Like we met up with this band Muddle in their rehearsal space over in Pilsen. We met up with this band Stalled right before one of their shows. We met up with Athena. They're in the zine. We met up. Where did we meet up with Athena? Oh,
At
at
Side Street in
There's
Elgin.
this art gallery in Elgin called Side Street Studio Arts, and it's like very. Should I say legendary? I think it's
I mean,
sort of in
it's
like
infamous.
it's infamous, legendary
Yeah.
in the lore of Elgin music and everything. And yeah, so in issue 2 is so much more. Like it's double the pages of this. The font is less blocky.
Mhm.
It's more.
It's smaller.
It's smaller. It's much smaller.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, please. You can open that up and look at it. I mean, you will see the.
Feels different.
Yes,
Yeah.
it feels very different. Yeah.
So we're looking at issue 2 right now.
Yeah.
Of Brain Graffiti.
So yeah, same kind of thing. Yeah, so the font got smaller and it got much more in depth. So these beginning pages, these were Instagram DMs as well. So these weren't like we didn't meet up with these people. We did stay true to the first issue where we want to include a lot of people. So we thought we might as well reach out through DMs to because if we do all in-person interviews with this many bands, it'd be so many. So now all of the rest of the zine is in-person interviews.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll do some through
Social media, ask
social
questions.
media,
Yeah.
and then some in person.
Yes.
So you do interviews, and then for those who can't see,
Yeah.
you layer in a font. You layer the paper. Kind of almost looks like an article from like a newspaper.
Typewriter type
Yeah,
font.
a typewriter
yeah.
font
yeah.
cut out and then put over a collage of photos.
Yes.
Most of which you've taken, or some look like some older photos. from
Yeah, so
Yeah.
all of those, it was funny. We went to Half Price Books for, shout out Half Price Books. That's the best place ever. Half Price Books, and we bought this like old, like, it wasn't old, but like the pictures were old. It was like
It was
1920s, 1930s Chicago.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so a lot of it's a bunch of Chicago stuff.
Yeah, I know big collagers. I used to do some collaging.
Yeah.
And big on collecting like old National Geographic magazines
Mm-hmm.
and just stuff that you could easily source and no one's
Yeah,
you'll never get
exactly,
trouble.
yeah.
No one's ever gonna find out what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, so yeah, this is I'd be over on my laptop with my headphones on like Jess's couch just transcribing an interview, and she'd be at the table cutting out pictures, cutting out collages, you know,
Yeah.
putting it all together. You know what I mean? So it's a very organic. We have a good system going.
That's a great
Yeah.
collaborative effort
It is
to do that.
Jess's skills, are absolutely incredible, and she's a
Thank
great
you.
collage artist. I know I said at the beginning of the,
She also does a lot of ransom letters.
yeah, right.
yeah,
FBI.
yeah.
Yeah,
If anybody's ever looking for a professional ransom letter,
Yeah.
like-
Yeah, hit me up. I got you.
So, how did you come up with the exact idea to do like black and white collage, layer it with that type of font, do interviews, and like lay it out this way? Like, how did that happen?
Well,
That idea.
personally, I love working in black and white. I don't really know, like, we didn't really ever talk about it. We just kind of
no,
did
not
it.
really.
And, like, you primarily photograph.
Yeah,
in
most of my
black and
photos are
white,
in general
too.
black and white.
Move you a little closer to that mic.
Yeah.
Maybe move the
Yeah.
slide the chair in or something. Yeah, sorry. You have a softer voice than he does, and you're further away. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we both just kind of already worked in black and white, and we're like, I don't know, it just kind of worked out that way.
It's also cheaper.
True. It's way
See.
cheaper to print.
You can also get away with a lot more certain like kinds of mistakes.
Yeah.
Because it's all black and white. Like
Oh,
color
yeah.
doesn't like if you miscut, it won't look weird with the colors. I mean, it's all black
Yeah.
and white
Yeah.
and gray, so
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
really.
Yeah.
You have a lot more leeway.
Mhm.
That's cool. I've always liked black and white too. I feel like somehow in a counterintuitive way you see more in the photo with black and white. I can't explain. I don't know if that's actually true. Just for me, I've always felt like I get more out of it because there's less distraction. You can focus on the motion. you
I
know?
feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
That I have this. I've had this idea about like color in general, like with specifically photographs. I think like the absence of color, kind of like if it's in black and white, what am I trying to say? Like I feel like colors, if not used correctly, could be distracting. You know what I mean? So like a lot of my photographs, I've been actually dabbling a lot more in color photography recently, and if like the colors aren't right, like I don't want to put it in color. You know what I mean? So like for example, like I shot this band at Ashbury in have you ever heard of Ashbury Coffee House?
My first show was there.
Yeah, really? Oh, nice.
I live right down the street from there.
Okay.
So in Willow Springs,
Yeah.
I was like 2 miles away.
Yeah.
But I mean, the UPS right there in Hotchkiss, right across the way over the river and trains, I worked there for
Oh,
7
nice.
years. So I drove past Ashbury every day.
Okay. It's
But yeah, I played a lot of shows there when
it's
I was
the
younger.
best.
Your age, actually, 20, 21.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I was shooting a show, shooting a band there, and it's like the Twin Peaks sort of like it's like I don't know how was it like that when you were there? Was it like Twin Peaks themed? Like they had like the stage was like
The chevron.
Yeah,
And
the-
like the red curtains.
You mean like the white and black tile?
yes yeah. So that's
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's been that way since like the 90s.
Oh seriously?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, nice,
Since Twin Peaks.
nice.
No, it's always, I've been going there over about 20 years.
Okay.
And it's always been like that.
See,
Yeah.
that's just us being ignorant because we're like a year and a half into this, like we don't really know.
If you ever need to know, I might be the person to ask.
Okay, cool, nice. But yeah, so I was shooting a band there, and like the red curtain, and then the white ceiling, and the black and white tiles, and then the band just in general was wearing just kind of off color, not off color, but like it didn't really match and everything. So like in that case, like color is very distracting, and it totally takes away from the picture. So I just put it in black and white.
Are you doing digital photography? Or
Yes,
film?
I did an independent study at my community college for film photography, and that was super fun. So I've dabbled in film. Jess is the one that shoots.
Yeah, I
on
do
film.
exclusively film.
Nice.
Yeah.
So.
What kind of camera do you use?
I use an Olympus OM10 and a Canon A1. Well, you're a Canon A1.
She can't find a speed light for her
Yeah.
Olympus, so I let her
Yeah.
use my my Canon that comes with a speed
That's
light.
a classic film one, the Canon one.
It's
That's like whenever someone
Yeah.
has one, they either have that one or like a Nikon.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
Is like the most common.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's what it
Jess,
seems like.
Jess is super lucky because she takes a darkroom class at ECC, so
Yeah.
she's got the darkroom, she's got the enlargers, she's got the chemicals,
cool.
she's got
Yeah.
all of it. I'm super jealous.
Yeah.
What are you going to do when it's gone?
I don't know.
In like, what, a month?
Yeah. I'm going to cry. I'm already
You got to
like,
build one.
oh, it's so expensive.
If you do black and white in like a closet at your house, you could probably figure out a way to do
That's
it
true.
on the cheap. Like if you just do it really slowly and slowly acquire all the components, you know?
Yeah.
Come on, think DIY. you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So true.
DIY on a budget.
Now, color and having it be like the super high quality, that might be
Yeah.
super expensive.
Yeah.
But just to do old-fashioned black and white, keep it simple.
Yeah.
You probably just need some space to slop seek, and then the developers and I don't know everything about photography, but I know people who've done it at their house, black and white specifically.
Yeah. Because there's like for black and white, there's like 4 chemicals involved. There's this new chemical. Well, it's not new, but again, me being ignorant, I'm just saying it's new because I found out about it. But it's called it's like a cinestyl monobath, and it's like everything in one chemical. It's your developer, your stop, your fix, and your
Is it as good?
fix remover. It looks pretty. I haven't used it. I've seen YouTube videos on it, but the results look really good.
Okay, that stuff always worries me.
Yeah.
Kind of like the all-in-one like shower. It's like shampoo,
exactly. Shampoo,
shower, gel,
toothpaste,
conditioner, toothpaste, deodorant. You're like, 7 things in one?
7 in 1.
It's got 105 chemicals in it.
Yeah,
I don't know what this is.
Like maybe I shouldn't be using
Yeah,
this.
all-in-one components, I mean, they can be good, but sometimes they scare me. But that's a chemical. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
Versus like a piece of technology doing a bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know enough about photography, but I do like it. I only have digital cameras though because of all the videos I do with the bands.
Yeah.
So it's like I can do photographs with them. Great ones. I have like a Sony A7R4.
Okay.
And that's great for photography, but yeah, it's digital.
Okay.
It's just like really great.
Is that a mirrorless camera?
It's mirrorless, full frame.
Okay.
I believe I think it's 28 megapixel.
Ooh.
Does 4K.
Nice.
RAW. It's amazing. It's
That's
a great
sick.
camera. But yeah, I just need to get more lenses because I only mostly do video. I need to get some 35s and 50s.
Yeah. I shoot for my digital. I have a Canon EOS 6D, which it's a little old.
I have one of those too.
Yeah. It's a little. I bought. All the stuff I buy is used.
As you should. I buy everything used too.
Yeah,
I bought a couple of things new when there was like a special deal, like a payment plan, no interest or something.
Exactly.
But other than that, these things are meant to be used by people. They're built really well, especially when you get to the higher quality stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Like heavy duty, nice metal things fit really well. Great build, like they could last forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just my Canon, and then I got a 24 to 105 millimeter lens that I've been using a lot, and then I have a 50 millimeter lens that I just started using a lot because what do you do? But I was in class at ECC in my studio lighting for photography class a couple weeks ago, and what's the term? Like not a recruiter. I can't believe I'm blanking on it right now. But someone from SAIC came to ECC to give a talk about the school. And
Sounds like a recruiter.
a recruiter. I forgot. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I can't remember. This was
Spokesperson,
something like that. But he also teaches there, and he does a lot of stuff there. And he gave portfolio reviews, and I showed him some of my photographs, and he's like, oh, like these are really good. But he also suggested that I start using a prime lens, like a 50 millimeter, something that can't zoom in or out, so that I can get more into it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I
that's all I've ever
agree.
used is prime. I've never used like one that can fluctuate between millimeters,
Yeah.
I've only had like fixed, like 50s,
Yeah.
35s, 28s, 24s.
It just feels better.
Yeah,
It
they
feels
tend to be
good.
heavier duty, more solid, does feel better.
Yeah.
Probably going to end up being, even in the slightest, a slider better,
Yeah.
quality, just by the build.
I might be a little bit wrong on this, but I think our photography teacher, we have the same photography teacher. He said something about like the performance is a little better on prime lenses. Like I should know this. I took digital 1. I forgot what he said.
I think, because he talks about the same thing in all of his classes. No matter what you take, he talks about the same thing.
He does, yeah. Shout out Travis. He's the best.
I've never studied like technical stuff of lenses and bodies, so I know a lot. I just don't know that technical of things. I mean, I could look into it, but I never really looked into it too much. But
yeah,
I'm assuming just based on the fact that everything is fixed, there's no room for it to ever shift or move out of millimeter position from 24 to 25.
Yeah,
or anything. It's always fixed. Every component just works at its best.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so Brain Graffiti, you have 2 out? Or how many do you have out?
This will be on a week.
This will be on a week. So
Yes.
you will have 2 out.
Yes.
And how often are you planning on releasing them? And we're talking about the magazines for those that are listening.
Yes. So our personal lives are a little crazy. So it's hard to always compile them on, it's not like a monthly Rolling Stone type thing, which would be pretty sick. But I mean, what's like the month difference between these? Like 5 months?
Honestly, we got this one like done way faster than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if things go as smoothly as this one, I would say like maybe 2 a year. If like we're like gauging it like
Yeah.
that.
Maybe 3. I don't
Maybe
know.
3. Yeah, because we're looking at the 3rd issue that we like kind of started
Yeah, we've already interviewed.
working on.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
we're thinking that's going to be out sometime in September.
Mm-hmm.
But
We're planning a lot of stuff
Yeah.
with
a lot of stuff over the summer.
a lot of stuff over the summer. Yeah.
Just a little more freedom from school
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, that'll also be great because we've been taking gen eds for 3 years. We've both taken our time with ECC. It's a 2-year school, but
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
just take an extra year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just like with gen eds, and then me being in a band, and then our relationship, and then our family lives, and then
Work?
work. Yes,
Yeah.
work.
Where do you guys work?
Jewel.
Nice.
I work at
Yeah.
Jewel as well.
Class, 5% off.
Yeah,
True.
exactly. Yeah,
I asked an employee there once, how much do you guys get off for working? Like 5%. It's like,
that's like
Yeah.
that's
it's just a
another
slap
thing.
in the face. It doesn't
Exactly.
cover
Yeah.
tax.
Exactly. Yeah.
They don't even take tax for you? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Um,
That's funny, Jewel.
it's
How long you been at Jewel?
2 years.
Nice.
I will be 2 years.
Almost 3.
Almost 3.
Almost
Me,
3.
almost 2. She
Yeah.
works at the West End one.
Yeah.
I work at the South Elgin one. So we both work in produce. So we do the same thing.
Mhm.
Just at different locations.
Different locations.
That's funny. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
You need some separation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was this planned?
No, before I started working at Jewel, I worked at a restaurant, and a little lore about me. I've never really told anybody this, but
Oh, here we go.
but
Lore
Jess knows,
drop.
of course. But I wanted to be a chef for a long time.
Hence the produce.
Yeah, yeah. But I wanted to be a chef for a long time. So before I worked at Jewel, I worked at this restaurant called Paul's in Elgin, like a little mom and pop diner.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a busboy. I was a host. I eventually went up to prep cooking, and then I started line cooking. It was all super fun, just like the energy and just kind of like the heat and everything. But yeah, I kind of realized that
You didn't want to do
I
cocaine.
didn't want to do coke. I didn't
Yeah.
want to be hungover every single night. You know what I mean? I didn't want to do any of that.
Mm-hmm.
But also just the lifestyle that was coming,
Mm-hmm.
because while I was working at that job, I only worked nights, so none of my nights were free. So and we didn't discover the scene yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So once I discovered the scene, well, actually I think I was gone out
Oh,
of Paul's
yeah,
before
you
we
were-
even discovered
Yeah.
the scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just the thought of like if I were to join a band, because I've always wanted to join a band. So like I had that thought, like maybe I shouldn't be working as a cook if I want to do that stuff. So I eventually left, and I applied to a Jewel, and I got the job there. Yeah, and I have a second job that I just started. I work in the art gallery at Elgin Community College. It's mostly just like a lot of like not maintenance. It's not maintenance, but it's a lot of like really cool stuff, like learning how to put up artwork, learning how to, like the other day I was taking down an exhibit that was up for a little while in like one of the main halls of ECC, and the exhibit comprised of like movable walls. So it wasn't like attached to the school, but it was like walls that were made for this exhibit, and they could be moved around and everything.
Modular walls.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And it was just white walls, and part of the exhibition was to draw on the walls. So absolutely anyone in the school could walk up to the wall and just draw Sharpie on it. There were some interesting things on there. I'll tell you that. There were some really weird things on there. So a couple
Whoa, like what?
like what? There was a very well drawn picture of Mario and Sonic making out, like on the outside of it. It was great. A lot of stuff I shouldn't say on the podcast.
I had to point out to you because he was supposed to sand everything off
Yeah.
the walls, and I was like, Matt, there's like a realistic picture of Mario and Sonic making out still like shining through on the back of the wall, and you're like,
Yeah.
I didn't even bother sanding that. And
Yeah,
I'm
so
like, dude.
because eventually after because then like Jess said I had to sand it, but first we had to take there was like nails in it. We had to take the nails out, and then we had to put drywall. Like the putty, put the drywall in there. Use the spatula, plaster. Yeah, and then
I love how I always have the word for you.
yeah, thank you. I know, I know.
do that
I'm terrible with words, and paint it and everything, and then sand it. Well, no, sand it, then paint it. But yeah, there were certain parts of it that were like deeply like in like black Sharpie. I'm like, I'm not even gonna go there. Like I can't even get this off. So yeah, my art director painted over it with gray paint, and then the next, because it was just the first coat, but through it you could see the Mario and Sonic still making out, and like the red Sharpie was like bleeding through it. Like it was like bleeding down the. We eventually had to put something up in front of it because we couldn't.
Why not use a wall that is like disposable, like a piece of white plywood? Everyone
That's
can write on
true.
it and you just get rid of it. And that way
I don't know.
It's not on a permanent structure.
That's true. I don't know. I don't know. That was my art director's call. He just said do this. I was like, all right, let's do it.
A lot of body parts drawn on there.
There were a couple penises.
I said body parts. He had to go, he had to go there.
you're-
For
My
once, I
mind went
wasn't
there.
looking for that. No, I'm kidding. I don't care. It doesn't matter. There's no rules.
I don't think besides that there wasn't.
Of course there was. That's you can't. People can't help it. You give
Yeah.
them like, here's a Sharpie and no one's looking. Like it's gonna happen.
I'm gonna try. Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
There was a lot of
So
interesting things.
long story short, y'all are busy. Work, school,
Yeah.
trying new things. This personal life.
yes,
And then and a band.
yeah, yeah.
Band and are you in a band or
No.
just hanging out?
Yeah. I enjoy going to shows. Well, I mean, I have my flyers that I make.
Yeah, Jess makes a lot.
Oh, you make flyers?
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I don't know. That's not really that time consuming for me.
Oh, but what'd you just do for a band that's getting pretty big right now?
Oh, I designed a T-shirt for Scarlett D'Amour. If you've heard of them.
Scarlett D'Amour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're playing Lollapalooza.
I haven't heard of them. They're from Chicago?
Yeah.
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 Cool. So are they younger?
I don't really know how.
I think
old
it's
they are.
between us and you. I think.
Yeah.
they're-
Okay.
Somewhere
Mid-
between
mid-20s,
there.
like-
Yeah.
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 Scarlett D'Amour. I'll have to
Yeah.
look it up.
Yeah, they just played the
Yeah.
Metro as well. They didn't headline it. They opened for somebody, but they've been
Yeah.
getting pretty big.
And you
Yeah.
know them?
They were in the first issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So doing posters for bands and then this. So how do you want this to have more issues a year? Do you want to grow it or do you want to keep it to like a couple a year and just do it?
I mean,
that way?
I kind of want it to get as big as possible.
Yeah, for sure.
Because this is like my passion project,
Me too.
honestly. Like
Me too.
it's like all I think about.
Me
Like
too.
That's awesome.
Me too.
So-
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
And-
good. Then keep doing it. It's funny.
Yeah.
A lot of what you guys are doing is got a lot of similarities to my own experience. Community college by home.
Yep.
Didn't have enough money or the not ability to go away to college. I knew the things I was doing, like you guys are doing. If I go away, I won't be able to do them.
Exactly.
I
Yep.
wanted to continue to do the festival and sessions and record and be near it all, but then have the space, aka my old studio and yard, to keep doing this stuff. Because I move, I go to a condo or an apartment, something small where I don't have a yard to
Yeah.
have a fest, where I don't have a studio to record bands. So it forces you. I deliberately chose that path so I can keep doing these things. But yeah, I took extra time there. I did 3 years too, just like you guys. So it's like really familiar.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I didn't want to go to. I wanted to go to college for what I do right now, but back then it didn't seem possible. Wasn't really allowed to go into the arts because it's just you don't make money in it according to parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily wrong. They're just
difficult.
They're right about 99% of everyone. They're wrong about the 1% that can make it work.
Yeah.
So, but that's who you have to be to do it. So yeah, there are a lot. I was in a band, work, didn't have a girlfriend. I will say, not to make you guys feel bad, but being in a relationship when you're trying to do all this stuff, man, it gets time consuming.
Yeah. No, we're super. Jess and I
Yeah.
are.
I was always single at that time, and which I didn't like that, but I realized it gave me a lot of time to just work on art and music and all the crazy travel, drive here, didn't care about anything, just
Yeah.
work on like something creative, being obsessed with it,
Yeah.
So you want to get it bigger. How are any ideas how to
Shit.
Blow it. You
Okay,
my
well,
zine.
Do you want to?
I mean,
It's not
we
like
could say it's not a spoiler.
I guess we won't like give specific locations,
Yeah.
but we
planned like a lot of shows.
planned a
over
shitload
the
of shows
summer
over the summer
to help like
under our
promote
name.
it, yeah.
So like we've been reaching out, branching out more into like a music promotion type operation. So like putting shows on under the Brain Graffiti name.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, kind of like a bum shows type thing. If you know who bum shows is.
I don't know bum shows.
Yeah, they just put shows on like under their name and
Okay.
yeah, Chicago thing. And
So just a show, like being a show promoter.
yes,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we just like to, do it under our name so, we could have our merch table up, to get our name out there. But yeah, we set up all of it. We reach out to the venues, we reach out to I'll tell you where specifically we're thinking, but just like in general, like we reach out to the bookers or the place itself, ask the bands if they want to play, and then we just kind of put it all together from there. It's funny because I have a lot of friends that like I like who are in bands, and they are the primary people that book their shows, and they're like, man, I hate booking shows. I'm like, I love booking shows.
It's like
it's
fun.
awesome when it comes when it comes together. It's like it's the most amazing thing. But we could talk more about that later. But specifically, we're booking shows in Peoria, Bloomington, Champaign.
We're at Bloomington. Night shop,
No,
coffee house, DIY spot.
yes, Meltdown Creative.
That's why I don't know about.
Yeah.
Name another venue. So are you doing them at DIY spots or at like a Shuba's, a Lincoln Hall type place?
No, we're not that big yet.
Okay.
We're definitely with an experience that we had a couple of days ago, which we'll also talk about. We kind of
Oh my
realized
gosh.
that we need a little more growing to do. But yeah, so we booked we
I always have so much to say.
yeah, I booked
And you're not tired yet because it's been a year and a half. It's
Yeah.
been a year and a half.
yeah
Book shows for another decade. Then.
yeah then we'll see.
We'll
yeah.
have a podcast, and you'll have like the most dense, bourbon because you'll be so stressed out. You're like,
God.
yeah, man, I just booked my
should have
1,000th
listened.
show. I should. It's,
yeah
Woo, I'm sick and tired of seeing everything come together.
yeah but yeah
No, I'm kidding. It's
yeah.
good that it's good to have that enthusiasm because if you don't, then why are you doing it?
Exactly.
So it's good.
Exactly.
I'm just giving you guys a hard time.
No, you're good. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we booked. Actually, I shouldn't say we booked it. We're in the process of booking something at Meltdown Creative with the person who's promoting it, the booker for it. We booked a show at Club Cavern in Peoria. We booked a show at the Mirror in Champaign. What kind of sucks is that it's like Bloomington, Peoria, Champaign. We didn't really book them like in 3 days, so we're gonna have to like keep driving down.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's fine. Whatever.
Why didn't you do that?
I don't.
I think it was hard to line things up.
Okay.
It was
with
very hard to
bands.
line
It was hard to get
So-
like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of people don't do shows on a Sunday,
Yeah.
like
Exactly.
DIY spots. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually
Exactly.
Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, so it was hard to do
Yeah.
that. Then we booked a show up in, I'll just say the names, I really don't care. We booked a show at Bremen Cafe in Milwaukee with a really great bill. We were trying to book a show right now in Indianapolis at this place called Healer DIY. The guys haven't gotten back to us yet in a little while, so I'm going to reach back out to them again. We were planning to do a July 4th show, which would be super sick there. We booked a show at Fallen Log in Chicago for like July 25th, I think. And then
And Pit Stop.
this place called Pit Stop in East Dundee for July 11th.
Yeah.
And then
How have you found all these DIY spots? Because historically they're usually quite hidden.
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram is like the
Yeah.
best tool. for all
I
this.
know the
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
the audiences
Yeah.
to know. Because a lot of
Instagram.
what you guys are talking about
Instagram.
is not common knowledge.
It's not, no.
If you are heavily, not even heavily, if you're just involved in the DIY scene or you go to those events or you're an artist or creative, you are aware of it and you're aware of how like easy and not easy it is to like find out about them. And it's easy if you're good intention, you know where to look.
Yep.
But but for those listening, you want to describe some of these places?
For sure. Yeah.
Just because not everyone knows what this means, like a DIY spot, like what exactly that is.
Go ahead with some first.
I mean, I feel like Pit Stop is like the best
most accessible.
example. And like the easiest, most accessible.
Pit Stop in East Dundee. I'm pretty sure their
Yeah.
Instagram handle is literally just
It's
Pit
Pit
Stop.
Stop,
PITTSTOP. And the picture should be like their logo is like a devil running down the stairs. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a black background, and then like the white is like the graphic of the devil running down the stairs. So
Yeah.
yeah. Any other ones?
I don't know. We could do dark room.
Yes, the
Like,
dark room in South Elgin.
I mean, both of them are just like small basements.
that have
cool,
big names.
Cool atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like Christmas lights up everywhere. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bassist in my band runs the dark room actually.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Noel. Shout out Noel. Yeah.
Usually they're a collective effort.
Yes.
People
Yeah.
come together with whatever equipment they have,
Yep.
Whatever works. And they range tremendously from just the lowest quality on every level, from acoustics to even placement of the band.
Exactly.
The
Oh, yeah.
lighting, the plumbing,
Yeah.
the smells,
The smells.
the police, the neighbors. I mean, the
BO.
list goes on
Yeah.
of like how much they could vary.
Yeah.
I had a lot of shows in my old spot for over a decade.
It'd be cool to do that, but like I have a finished basement, so that'd be
Oh, no, you can't. That's why I
Yeah.
don't do them here.
Yeah.
I also did them for so long. I saw how much damage it did to my home. It ruined my house.
Exactly.
The festival and the shows and the bands, I mean, a couple thousands, it ruined everything. But it was fun.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Yeah.
of course, yeah, it's great.
It's fun. DIY shows are fun. And it's funny, the ones in the city, like the further into a city you get, the more secretive they are because of like police and more rules. When you're out in a suburb,
Yeah.
the police never cared about what I did, like ever. So I didn't have to really hide much, But once you get into the city, the neighbors are more on top of you.
Yep.
People are more curious. The rules are more strict. The sound ordinance is stricter. Like where I used to live in Nick Hills, there was no sound ordinance. So unless a neighbor complains, you can be as loud as you want whenever. Chicago, it's 10. So like there's really strict rules. So it's harder, But it's really fun. It's interesting, and it's probably, you guys probably haven't noticed it yet because you've been in it for so short and you're younger, how they rise and fall. All the DIY venues, they don't last long. The underground ones.
Yeah.
I think like when we got into it was kind of the tail end of Grandma's house, because the reason why I said like I don't know if they're still doing shows or not is because like the one show that we went to was kind of like one of their last ones.
Yeah, I think literally the day after that show, they like posted like, "Don't come to my house ever again" or something.
They're,
on their
they're like
Instagram.
my aunt's getting fed up. We can't do these
they're
anymore.
like, we can't have this.
Yeah.
So for those, that's funny. For those listening, a DIY spot, it's usually music related, but it has a lot of other themes.
Oh,
It could be
yeah.
art, video, poetry, dance, a bunch of stuff. But when we're talking about the music, it's usually in someone's basement, garage, maybe their living room, maybe a warehouse. It's usually not sanctioned. There's usually not permits. They're usually not abiding by any laws as far as money and alcohol. It's super DIY.
Yeah.
Do
But-
it yourself. Yeah.
But also with a lot of good intention because there's no exchange of all that stuff. Like, a lot of times the bands will get their fair share. Like everyone gets paid out, cash, and it's never enough for anyone to care.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
like a living. It's not a living.
It's
yeah.
like enough to go buy more beer and hot dogs. Like,
Exactly.
that's about it.
It's just for fun, man.
Buy some
Yeah.
new strings and gas money.
Or just get home. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
get home.
Yeah, like if you're a band on tour or something, like a full DIY tour, it's just enough gas to get you to the next stage
Yes.
or something. Yeah.
And hopefully they let you stay the night there,
Exactly.
and that helps a lot. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fun. It changed my life, doing those shows for so long.
It's changed our lives in a short
Yeah.
amount of time. Yeah.
It's a good time. But yeah, they don't have. It's like the NFL career. It's like 2.5
Yeah.
years is like
Oh,
your DIY
yeah.
spot, and it's because they start at your age, and then after college, and you need to have like a mortgage and a house and life, you can't do that stuff anymore. Yeah, and I think the risk and edginess of it, you kind of outgrow when you actually have like money. No, I mean, it's serious.
No,
You're like, I'll just go to, I don't have to deal with all the sketchiness of finding this place and dealing with maybe the police coming.
Yep.
It's like I'm 30. Do I really want to be around a bunch of 20-year-olds getting busted for
Yeah.
like underage drinking? Like,
Yeah.
it just,
Yeah.
eventually that hits you and you're like, I don't want to get stuck with this, So, I mean, I haven't been to, I think the last DIY basement show I went to, I played it, and it was 2 years ago. It was April 2022. That's the last time I went. You probably have heard of it, VHS.
Yes.
The DIY Chris
Yeah,
Lee
yeah.
does the VHS.
Yeah. I've heard of VHS.
cool.
Yeah.
I think
I've
it's
never been there before. Heard of it.
It's up north. I think it's in Logan. It's been a while since.
Oh,
I've been
okay.
there. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I haven't played or been to one in quite some time. Yeah. I'm 34. You start to like not know about them. People are like, "Oh, did you hear about this one?" I'm like, "No, when did that happen?" Like, "Oh, it's gone already." You're like, "Oh." Like
Yeah.
I've missed like I swear because it's about every 2 to 3 years I've missed, a few generations of like spots.
Yeah.
Like I knew a lot of them between like 2007 and like 2017. Like that decade I knew like a lot, and now they just keep turning over so quickly,
Yeah.
Like I don't know where that is. I haven't heard of it yet.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, so like back then, like I'm assuming Instagram wasn't like a big.
No.
Yeah. So
not
like,
for-
how'd you like hear about?
word of mouth.
Yeah.
Everything was just word of mouth. Someone told you.
Yeah.
So like no one held back on letting someone know about something cool. Like, oh yeah, you got like that's how everyone knew about what I was doing, and the fest was just word of mouth. It was
That's
all word of
awesome.
mouth. And then slowly, Instagram and Facebook and not really anything else. I didn't use anything else. But yeah, word of mouth, flyers and
Another
just
story. Yeah.
what's up?
Another story with flyers. Yeah. We in downtown Elgin, we were trying to hang up a literally as soon as we stepped out of the car, like in less than 5 minutes, stepped out of my car, went up to a lamppost, started taping it. This lady walks up. She's like, you're not supposed to do that, right? This is like a 34-year-old woman. And she's like, you're not supposed to do that, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. And then she's like, yeah, it's going to get ripped down it's going to get ripped down, right? And I was like, I was like already annoyed. I was like, well, you know what? And I said, you see that flyer over there? I put that up 5 months ago and it has been taken down because Jess and I went to downtown Elgin because we were hanging up flyers for this show, and we hung up flyers for this show 5 months ago, and those flyers were still there and not taken down. And I was like, well, that flyer over there has been up for 5 months. And she's like, well, I'm gonna call the city tomorrow and get it taken down. And it wasn't taken. I took it down.
Yeah, we literally had to rip it down because it had the wrong venue.
That's
on
another
it.
story.
That's another story.
There's a
Oh my gosh.
there's a lot of stuff that's
There's-
happened so far.
Yeah, there's so
Yeah.
much lore with issue too. It's like
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's how you learn.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm sure you learned a lot from these first few.
Oh,
You
yeah.
now know.
yes.
Just like what you were talking about earlier between the first and second issue.
We recognize
this
the
one
mistakes.
feels a lot different.
Yeah.
The feel of it, the thickness of it. This one has more of like a magazine feel. This one has like a book feel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like thicker.
Oh, you're right. I didn't think about that.
And the material.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This-
Yeah.
Yeah, this has like a more of a glossy. This is more like a matte. It has some gloss, but not. I don't know. Just
Yeah.
maybe it could be the thickness. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah, we didn't add a cover for this one. We added a cover for this.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
this was a cover. No.
It's like
Oh, I
it's-
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
that's what it is. That's what it
Yes.
is. There's
Yeah.
a harder,
it's a cover.
thicker,
Yeah.
like a cardboard around it. And
Yeah.
that's what it is. Okay, I thought this was a cover. I see your point though. Very cool.
Yeah.
And have you guys? So when you guys do shows at DIY spots, you'll reach out to the venue, get 3 to 4 bands, and then just kind of do a Brain Graffiti show.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then you also have your merch there and sell and stuff.
Yeah.
What other
Yeah.
merch do you guys do besides the magazine?
Posters.
Posters.
The sticker I gave you right over there.
Okay.
We got a couple pins, which is the same design as the sticker.
And we have shirts coming
Shirts. We got shirts
soon.
coming soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hats.
Oh, that'd be so
That would
sick.
be-
Contact lenses.
That would be sick.
Oh,
That'd be
Retainers?
Yeah.
All you see is Brain Graffiti. That's all you see.
Free promotion.
Free promotion. That's free promotion right there.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that meme. What's the thing? Is like when you get the Neuralink and you start to get ads in your head or something.
No.
Yeah.
Could you imagine getting ads as like a thought?
That would suck. That would suck.
Crest whitening, ultra white. It's like what?
What the hell?
What
trying to
just
do-
happened?
I'm trying to do my research.
I'm just trying to do my homework right now. Yeah.
So with photography, are you doing it? You're doing it at other venues too, right? Like a Shuba's, a Metro.
Yeah.
So for that, do you reach out to the band when it's that type of place? You can't just bring a camera in for those listening.
I could bring the Shubas.
Not Shuba's. I mean, like if you go
Metro.
to like a Metro, a Riviera,
Yeah.
a Vic Theater,
Yeah.
Aragon Ballroom, you can't
Yeah.
bring a camera in. You know.
Yeah. So the best thing about the Metro is that on their website they have the all the contact information for like
Like a press pass.
yes, I forgot what the specific her job description was. Her name's Jenna. She's supplied me with the thing is I asked for press passes and I get them and then I end up not being able to go. But I was able to go to one show. I know. Eventually she's going to be like, stop reaching out because
Yeah.
because you're not taking these press passes.
Wait, so you reach out to get one that you don't go?
Yeah, that's happened twice.
Because she lets me know like the day before the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, do you tell her that? Like, can I get a little bit more behind?
No, because I think it's up to.
I think it ends up being up to the bands.
Yeah, I think I don't know the process, but I like I said, I don't know the process.
Yeah, I don't
so,
either. I've always just had my friend just let me in to do
Yeah.
photography. I never had to deal with like an official way of doing it.
yeah, so yeah,
Kind of the story of my life.
yeah, right. The
Whenever people talk
DIY.
about official ways of doing something, like, I
What?
don't
Yeah,
know
what?
anything about that.
Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. But like the Metro is great because on their website they have all of the information of all their people. So like the person I reached out to was the head of I think it was the head of marketing. So I thought I'll just reach out to them and ended up being the right person. So she gives me the press passes and everything. So the first show I shot was Boris and the Melvins.
Oh, that's sick.
It was really cool.
I wanted to go to that show.
God, it was so sick.
Yeah.
It must have been loud.
The Buzz Osborne was like right there, right in front of me, and I'm shooting. I'm like, this is awesome. This is incredible.
So you take the photographs, and then what? Do you?
Jenna sent a Dropbox to me, and then they posted it on the Metro Instagram.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which was cool. And then do you remember when we were going through the merch line at the end of that night? Oh, I was so stupid. I didn't pick up. You're gonna remember when I say this. We were at the merch table for Boris, just checking out their stuff, and we ended up buying a Boris shirt because they had the coolest merch that night. And
Oh my god, I know exactly what you're gonna
and
say.
the person running the merch table must have been like, I don't want to say the manager for Boris. I don't think it was. It must have been like someone, of course, that knows. Well, obviously,
Well, it
they're working
obviously was someone who worked for them.
yeah, it was someone who works for Boris, and
It's just their merch person.
yeah,
Definitely
Yeah.
wasn't their manager.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Too popular of a band for their manager to be doing that job.
Exactly,
True.
yeah. And the person at the table was like, "Oh, you got a camera? Did you get some good shots?" I was like, "Yeah, I think I got some good shots." And the guy was like, "Well, if you send them to me, like the band really loves their photos." I'm like, "That's awesome." And I'm like, "Have a good night." And I walked away, and in the moment,
And I was
didn't-
like,
Wait,
Matt.
what?
I was like,
He said if you send them to me and you go, that's awesome. You didn't
was
go,
like-
I should probably do that.
I was like, he was trying to get your Instagram, dude.
You're like,
And he was like-
I'm so
you're like
stupid.
a guy when he doesn't realize a girl's hitting on him.
Yeah.
Because we're really bad at that.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
And they wonder why we're bad. It's like, you don't understand. You
Yeah.
guys have all the practice.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah.
So like when it happens, I'm like, I
What?
don't realize when it's happening.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what it reminded me of. When you don't realize you're being hit on as a guy, you're like, wait, that's what was going on?
Yeah, the merch person for the
You're like,
for the
"Wow,
Boris was hitting on me. Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
not understanding, like,
Yeah.
because you're not used to it. It's like the first time that someone's probably ever done that. You weren't expecting it.
Yeah.
So you're like, wait, what did you just
And
say?
then we walked out, and I was like, I can't walk back in there and be like, my Instagram, by the way. It was so
You
bad.
live and you learn.
You live and
You know,
learn.
you guys are still really young to be doing this stuff, which is good. To start young. Have you guys always been into creative things throughout your life?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when I was in high school, I had like this book that I like filled with collages. And like I just did it for fun. I wasn't really like, oh, this is like actually like something until like Matt like made me post them on Instagram. Like
I was like, these are so good. Like, please make an
Yeah.
Instagram for them. Please
and
do.
then I did, and it kind of just turned into all this now. So yeah, that. And then I mean, like, I dabbled in music like when I was younger. Like I was in orchestra, whatever, played
okay.
bass. So
Upright bass?
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured an orchestra.
Yeah. It's just been a wide variety of arts. My first main thing was writing. Like in third grade, I made like comic books, and everything. And then fifth grade was a really big writing year for me. I had a teacher that was really super supporting of my like really helped me with my writing skills and everything, and started reading a lot more books and everything. That was all the way up until high school. And then high school, I really started getting into music, like really, really started getting into music, just like everything, like old school hip hop, old rock and roll. It didn't really matter. I was just into music. And then I started playing guitar. And like in my sophomore year, COVID happened. Near the end of our junior year, COVID happened. So then
What was that like in school? High school?
It was horrible because I was already like, in high school, like, I was, like, super shy at the beginning, and then, like, junior year comes around, I'm, like, coming out of my shell. Then COVID happens, and I, like, stopped talking to everyone, and it's
No.
just, like, I don't know, it was hard on me at least.
Yeah, that's a hard
Yeah.
time to not be a teenager. That's
Yeah.
like the best
Yeah.
time of your
Yep.
life as far as finally being mature enough to comprehend like reality but not have adult responsibilities.
Yeah.
Like 15 to 20 is kind of maybe 15 to 18, like right before when you get out of high school you do start to get a lot of responsibilities. But those few years are amazing and have them
Yeah.
taken away by COVID. Yeah, it's frustrating. It really is. I know. I mean, I didn't have to. I was much older when it happened, but yeah, it just anybody when you're doing anything of importance, it just stopped it. It
Oh,
messed
yeah.
up
Everything.
my sessions, my progress with growth with recording bands and growing with shows and the festival. I stopped doing my monthly shows. I used to have a show every month at my studio at DIY spot. I stopped doing all that stuff. It sucked, you know. But it gave me a breather because I was doing all that for over 10 years nonstop. Like nonstop. So I was like, I came out of like a vacuum when that happened. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I could have a day to think and breathe. And well, now I have every day. Now is years, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad. I mean, we're coming back, but the music industry has not recovered. The DIY industry is not recovered. Not enough money. We lost money through it. The artists, the bands, lost money through it.
Yeah.
And they don't make enough now, but everything else went up.
Yep.
So yeah, it's bad. It's
Yeah.
really bad.
I think, well, my experience is kind of different from Jess's. I mean, the one thing that sucks about, because Jess went to a really big public school, I went to a
Yeah.
small private Catholic school. Like, I'm talking like less than 100 people in my freshman class. So not like big whatsoever.
What was the school?
St. Edward's Central Catholic High School in downtown Elgin.
Why go there, not at the public school?
My parents just... That's my parents. I mean, I've gone to small private Catholic schools from like kindergarten until senior year.
Oh wow.
Uniforms, kindergarten through senior year.
Oh man.
Me being in college is the first time I've been able to, wear something.
How's it feel?
It feels liberating. Liberating.
Yeah, the uniform thing is, I don't know. I get it, and it's good for some reasons, and it's terrible for all, like every other reason you could think of, like not having the ability to express yourself.
Not only that, but I mean, in my high school, because that's around the time guys are, puberty, more facial hair, more long hair. Guys at my guys at my high school couldn't have facial hair. Mm-hmm. They couldn't have their hair. They couldn't have their hair
Past their ears.
past their ears. I think it's like touch your eyebrows.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just like
It sucks. I went to a
Uniforms.
school like that too for a
Yep.
few. That's why I know. It was co-ed though, so the girls had to wear dresses past their, a certain point past their knee, like 3 fingers past your knee. They couldn't wear pants. They had to wear culottes if they were doing gym activities, which are just 2 separate skirts, one per leg, essentially. That's what a culotte is.
Yeah.
Stupid. But yeah, no, I hated that stuff so much.
Yeah, it's
really weird arbitrary rules.
Yeah. I mean, it was just my parents' decision to do that. I think they wanted me to have a good education, I guess. I don't know. That's up to them. That was not a decision I was a part of. Went to school for me to go to. Yeah. And I don't really care. I mean, went to school now because I don't really think about high school or any of that stuff anymore. So I mean,
You shouldn't. The day you get that diploma, it's like it's over.
Peace out.
There are a lot of
Yes.
people who reminisce or talk about those times, and I'm like, the only time you should reminisce is if like you're hanging out with your buddy you haven't seen in a while, and you're like, remember that one time during biology when you put like beads in the frog's mouth,
Exactly,
and then hit its chest and they shot out.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny. Yeah, like that's as far as it should really go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be there like, oh my god, can you believe we're all so like.
So fucked up.
Yeah, you gotta keep progressing in life, and going backwards is not progress.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Jess and I didn't have those types of friend groups. Those friend groups. You know what I mean? Like, getting fucked up at the homecoming after party.
Well, I mean, I wasn't one of those friend groups, but I did not fit in because I was never really the type to be like that.
Like a partier.
Yeah, I wasn't about that. Just
you were
like,
about the arts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe you just took time to find it,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not every high
Yeah.
school is set up for people that are creative. They might not have a lot of classes or programming or after school for it or the facilities, the money
Yeah.
for it because they cut the arts first or close to it. So sometimes high school, like my high school for me, wasn't the most creative place to nurture somebody. We had some art classes. We didn't really have any music classes. They didn't have a guitar class. They only had an orchestra. And I wanted to play experimental music and make videos and put on concerts,
Yeah.
and none of that existed. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it didn't do anything for me. But I just did it after,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I did stuff like it in school, just at home. Went home after
Exactly.
school and did recording in my room. Went home in school and built stuff in the backyard. Went home after school and played music, but nothing in school. So I get it. I didn't fit in with any of those people either.
Yeah.
I completely stopped hanging out with everyone. And mostly just started meeting people because I had a car at 16. When did you guys start driving?
16.
16?
I was 17.
That was late too.
Yeah.
When were you?
17.
That's not
Yeah.
too late. That's only one year.
It's a year after. Yeah.
Yeah. But when you finally get that, if you're open, you can start making friends outside of high school at other high schools, or maybe they're freshmen in college, and you can actually select the people around you, and you start being friends with the people who like music and like arts and want to go to a DIY show. But if you're only around who you're stuck with and they don't do that, and that's the only world you know, if you stay in it, you might not prosper and grow in the activities you want to do.
Yeah.
All for the sake of like appearing normal, Yeah, it's not worth it. But it's hard to think that way. It's a kind of a mature thought at 15, 16 to be like, to have a revelation like, these people aren't good for me. We're not doing creative things. Like, you can't expect a 15-year-old to think of that right before they get a car and make those big decisions,
Yeah.
I noticed it, but I usually learned from the adults I saw. And I saw how they were behaving. Mm-hmm. I was like, I don't want to be like that. I want to be like that. So I just mimicked them.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Yeah. I just think it also kind of sucked because for our generation, like social media was like a huge thing.
Oh yeah, it
Was.
ruined
Is.
everything.
Is still yeah.
No,
It's
Yeah,
still
what
a
is
thing.
it doing to you guys? What's going on with your brains?
Makes me the most anxious person ever.
I'm glad you said that.
Seriously.
Elaborate.
Literally.
I'm not glad that it makes you anxious.
No,
Let me
yeah.
rephrase. I'm glad that you brought that up.
I think it is the main thing that contributes to my social anxiety because of how people interact with people on social media. It's what is the line between them judging me on social media to them judging me in real life? And I'm constantly I'm just worried that I'm doing the wrong thing to other people. That's that could just be me, but
What
I
wrong
feel
thing? What are you worried you might be doing?
I don't know, just
The fact that you don't even
everything.
know, yeah. Just
Yeah.
anything. Do you feel this way?
Sorry. I have to drink a water.
No, that's okay. I'm gonna get a drink of water.
I don't know. I don't think I feel that way.
Really?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I think also I feel going to a public high school where Instagram, Snapchat, that's everything. Something goes around in that high school, everyone finds out everything. It's there was scandals at my high school.
I bet. That's why you just stay off of it.
I wish I did.
What are your thoughts since high school is so close, to your distant past? What are your thoughts on not being able to have a smartphone until the age of 16, but not being able to have social media until 18?
I wish.
And then no phones in school, period.
I wish that
they have to
had
go.
that.
The farthest they can go is in a locker. They cannot leave a locker. Yeah, and then parents all need to communicate that and be like, listen, we're not giving our kids a phone until 16. They're not getting social media on it until 18. They just can have it at 16 because they're now driving or whatever. Yeah, why don't parents do that? Because it's all ignorance is bliss. If all the kids are dealing with that, it doesn't matter. It's all relative. So if everyone in high school, say your high school had 1,500 kids, if all of them have these rules, then they're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
In my reality, when I graduated in 2018, so I was there from 2004 to 2008, none of this stuff existed, and we were fine because it didn't exist. It's it could be like that right now. You just can't have it in their reality at the moment. And again, it's all relative. If all the parents get together and do this for their kids, then all the kids are in the same place.
Yeah.
No one could be like, well, Tommy has this and Angela has that. No, everyone has the same. No one has any of it. But you can't expect that.
Yeah.
You'd have to redo the last 20 years. You can't.
It had to be like The Giver, the movie, the book, The Giver. How at certain ages you get a bike, and at this age you get this. At this age you get this.
Well, forever we've done that. It was at 5 you get a bike. At 16 you get a car. at 18 you can go vote and like stay out late. Like there's these certain rites of passage we did, but we skipped something psychologically just through
It's like
a
5,
phone.
you get a phone
Yeah.
now.
And it's like
Yeah.
No,
at some
yeah.
point while your brain's developing the most, while it's most plastic, we're gonna give you a phone.
And
that
which is
has-
the worst thing to do.
It's the worst thing to do. It's the worst thing to do. I'm so glad I did not grow up on it because I can have my addictive moments. I'm just like looking for it,
Yeah.
But I just always have a active thought of making myself aware of that and like taking away from it. Like I make sure to put do not disturb on automatically from 10 to 7 a.m. every day. So it's 9 hours where I just see nothing, no notifications. And then I took off all the notifications from every social media app and I put them all into a folder. So I have to deliberately go to it to see anything. And I know they're there. I could assume right now that the apps have notifications, but I'm not constantly getting that bing, bing. And I look at the
Yeah.
banner pops down. You're like, what is it? What is it? All of that taps in to our actual dopamine and our emotions. It just gets really deep into us. And I noticed that I've been hearing a lot that it's hurt and been hurting disproportionately women and girls more than boys and men because of the visual social element of it.
Yeah.
And women have always been dealing with this. I mean, when I was a kid, my sister and cousins would complain about the one commercial or the one ad with the one woman that's beautiful in it. But now it's everything. Because for a little girl to see an unrealistic body in 1995 was either in a movie, which you had to go deliberately find, a TV show, if you didn't have cable, which I didn't, you're not seeing a lot of them, or like a magazine, but like you had to go buy it and look at it and open it and read it. Other than that, you're not just seeing fake looking women all day.
And now you could just,
all day,
you could just roll out of bed
forever,
and just pick up your phone.
and it's
Yeah.
real. And it's almost like 3D, and they're talking to you, and they're telling you how you need to live your life and what cream to put on underneath your eyes. Here are the bags, and right. A lot of
Yeah.
it's got to be what it is.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I 100% agree with that because, like,
I mean, you're living it, and you just
Yeah.
lived, and it's mostly hurting teenage girls, and you're
Yeah.
21, right?
yeah, I'm
So you've
21.
been living with it for the last decade.
Yeah, I mean, it's hurt me. Like, I've gone through many things because of it, because of the things, like, I've seen on social media. I won't go into it, but, like,
Yeah, I mean, feel free to
it's
say whatever you'd like.
I don't know. It's really hurt me. And, like, even talking to my sister, like, we've gone through the same exact things because, like, we've seen the same things. And, I mean, I would assume that, like, 90% of teenage girls are going through, like,
Yeah.
horrible issues just because of the things they see on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
I feel like it's really hurtful to, like, this generation.
It is.
And
Why is it
like,
still illegal?
I know,
Yeah.
right? Like, just think about our generation. I'm nervous to think about the generation under us who are getting phones earlier than
Yeah.
we got them.
Yeah, they're getting them at. I mean, they can get an iPhone 15 at 5 years old.
oh, yeah.
Which is insane.
I got my phone at, how old are you in 5th grade? I forgot how old you are.
You got
10 or
yours in
11,
5th grade.
depending your birthday.
11. I think I was 11 when
I
got
got
a
mine
phone.
in 8th grade.
But I didn't get social media till high school.
I got social media in 5th grade. So,
Yes, no.
yeah.
I didn't know
Whoa.
that.
I got a Snapchat account in 5th grade.
I got Snapchat last year when I was 33, and I got Instagram when I was 24, and I didn't want to do it. I was like reluctant. It was 10 years ago, and I was like, I'm not doing it. And they're like, you can promote DZ stuff. I was like, fine.
See, that's
Do it.
that's the only reason why
Yeah. I only
have
use,
Instagram.
I only really use Instagram.
for
Yeah.
we no longer have Snapchat. I don't know. I have this thing where like
Snapchat's so high school.
Snapchat is so high school. Like if I have if there's some like I'm not,
It is.
it's really
you
high
know?
school. So like it's like when I see like some like coworkers who are like I don't know like 20 or something on their Snapchat, I'm like, how old are you? I'm like, who? Like, you're Snapchatting? Like, yeah. But okay, so like the so like
I like to use the Telegram.
yeah. I was
That's
like,
how I like to send
yeah.
stuff out.
But yeah, like the only no Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it. So the only thing that we have is Instagram and Facebook, and the only reason
Yeah.
why we have it is because Jess has her collage account and her flyer account, and then I have my photography account, and then this. This is like the most hours I spend on Instagram is Brain Graffiti stuff. Mostly that.
And it's great for all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Exactly.
It's the best for it.
See, that's like the huge pros and cons to social media.
You just got to have a extreme regimen and discipline with it.
Yeah.
You know, if you like, do you have like a schedule like to promote on Brain Graffiti? Like,
We don't really have we should. It's funny. We're both taking a social media marketing class,
Yeah.
and like the whole creator page on Instagram has like all the built-in analytics that you can check. So I mean, yeah, we don't really have a schedule for when we post. But we probably should. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we're just the support we have is pretty incredible. So I mean,
We were posting one meme a day.
that's what
For
we
a
do.
while.
Leading up to our release show, we post one meme a day,
But we've been so bad
We've been
with
slacking on
because
it.
there's just been so much stuff with.
and we post it on our stories, not like an actual post.
Okay.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
on the stories.
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, so it's always like a Brain Graffiti related meme or something.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. They're like the stupidest memes.
I think I made like the stupidest.
It's something about like the one.
I've never been able to get too far into memes. Like I have a thing with my students. If they can make a meme or if they can find a meme that makes me laugh, I'll give them extra credit.
Oh hell yeah!
And no one's been able to do it.
Nice. We bought a couple cameos to promote some of the. Yeah. Did you ever have Vine? Did you have Vine?
I do remember Vine. I didn't have it, but I had friends who had it.
Okay. Do you know like some like popular Vines?
No, I'm like I like live under a rock.
Okay.
I
Okay. I'm not gonna quote a Vine. I'm not gonna quote a Vine right now then because I'm gonna sound stupid.
I'm high. I'm extremely impoverished. I'm a poor person when it comes to pop culture,
Okay.
like knowing what's going on, like
Yeah.
hip things and this. And do you see this meme or that? Viral this or this thing. None of it because
Yeah.
I've been locked out of my Instagram for 10 weeks. It's being taken care of by somebody I know. It's a 6-digit authenticator code error issue. So I haven't been on social media for 10 weeks. And that's the first time in a long time. And man, I don't miss it at all. Like at all. I don't know what's going on. Nothing stresses me out. I have no idea what anyone's doing. I need to get back to
Yeah.
it. I'm waiting for Instagram to fix it. And I have an insane amount of projects to put out that I've been backpiling the last 10 weeks. But it's been so relieving.
I bet.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like a human again. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on. When someone's like, "Did you see that?" I'm like, "No." And when I realized, and people, this is an interesting thought, philosophical thought and practice, but it's along the lines of ignorance is bliss, but that's a little too corny. So, not seeing what's going on in the world the last 10 weeks, I don't know what's going on, but I feel very much at peace. And people will be like, well, you should be informed. Like, it's good to know what's going on. But then to those exact same people that are on AP News and CNN and MSNBC and Fox News and Vice and everything, they don't have any advantage over me at all in anything. And they're always sad and upset and pissed off. And can you believe Trump and this? And I'm like, listen, bad, evil, awful people are always going to be there. Me knowing about their every move every day on TikTok or Instagram or Twitter isn't going to do anything for me. They're going to be there anyway, being terrible. So like me knowing all of it, what does that do? I can't change it. I can change me, my house, my neighborhood, my community. I can do stuff there. And that's where I do it because I cannot do the other stuff. It's impossible, literally. So it kind of reminds me of what you were saying with a lot of girls seeing all that stuff and these impossible standards and all these, TikTok and Instagram models making money, young women. Why is everyone still looking at it? Just block it out. Don't look at it.
I feel like our brains
Yeah.
have gotten too fucked up to like it's kind of like it's like a drug. You got to
Yeah.
keep looking at it. You kind of get like withdrawal when like
Well, also
you're not on social media. You know what I mean? Maybe
Yeah.
that's not my generation thing.
I
but-
mean, like, with girls specifically, like, I feel like every girl just compares themselves to everything.
Yes.
Literally every single
Yes.
thing.
A chair. I want some. One
Yeah.
time they're like that. The leg in that chair is thinner than my leg. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a chair. It's not real.
It's like,
no, you're right.
you
You're
can't help
absolutely.
it. It's-
Some of this stuff. I mean, it goes to show, just socially and biologically, the way our minds work. Because so many things that you're talking about that bother you, men will care too, but it's so much less. They'll just be like, I don't care. And they'll care about something else. They will have
Yeah.
care of something. It just isn't that. It's something
Yeah.
else. It could be money, could be work, could be meat. Who knows? Who knows? Food, a football game. But it's gonna go. The energy goes somewhere. It just isn't in quite what you as a woman is concerned about.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It goes right over our conscious minds. Like a guy just doesn't see it and think that way. You know, me, I go, what?
Yeah.
Just don't look at it. Duh. Like, that's the way
Yeah.
I just said. You're like, you
Yeah.
don't even understand the fabric of, like, how a woman's reality is shaped, you know, which I don't. But I know that it has something to do with that assessment, constantly always assessing, like, looks, value, shape, size, skin tone, clothing, you know, face creams, haircut,
Yeah.
hair. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, the level of detail
Yeah.
women talk about and go through.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason why guys are always like, yeah, you guys go do your brunch thing. I'm cool. I just don't know what you're talking about. You know, and again, it goes both ways. There's so many women could hear guys talking like, oh my God, you guys, I got to go. I'm going to go hang out with my friends. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways. I'm not
Yeah.
picking on anyone. We all do it. It's just relative to how we are. So what do you do? Like, it's been around you your whole life. It is hurting you. You've seen it hurt your friends and other people you don't know.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I mean,
Do you talk to your girlfriends about this? You'd be like, should we like not be on it for a bit? Should
I
we maybe
mean,
like be on it,
like-
but like only do like 1 hour a day and that's it, you know?
the thing is that everyone's so addicted to it. Like, you can't. Like, I've taken breaks from like TikTok, whatever. Like, I won't have it for a week, but I like find another way. Like, oh, I'm not on TikTok. I'll go watch YouTube shorts. Oh, not on YouTube anymore. I'm gonna go watch Instagram reels. It's like there's always something.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't help it but watch it.
Yeah, you have to take very unique steps. Like
Yeah.
you can actually make the phone work for you where it, you know, shuts off notifications after a certain
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Like little like what I was
Yeah.
telling you. Well, obviously I can't get into Instagram, but I have all the other social medias and I don't go on any of them because I make it annoying. It's like in a folder, the folder's named Post and Ghost, which, you know, Post and Ghost. And I just force myself to get noted. And I never know what's going on in the world, and I have to deliberately jump into it
Yeah.
to see it. And even then, I've just never been a person to engage in it. And I think I was old enough and old school enough to kind of see the beginning of it. Like I was hanging out with all my friends as teenagers when these things came out, when the
Yeah.
Sidekick came out, when the iPhone originally came out in 2007. And I saw originally everything people do on Instagram and everything people do on X and everything people do on TikTok, they used to just do in reality with their friends
Yeah.
in the backyard when they're teenagers, right? You know, now you make a video trying to flip a water bottle and see if it lands. We were doing that anyway. There's just no camera. We were just doing that over a bonfire for 8 hours until it lands. And it means nothing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to find a way to slowly like mitigate it slowly. Because I'm older, so I didn't grow up with it. So it's easy. It's not embedded in like the way I perceive myself in culture. It's like a auxiliary thing or an extra curricular thing. Like I have to opt to do.
Yeah.
It's not just on me. I have to decide to do it. But I'm older and I've been doing that for a long time. And again, I saw it happening, and I noticed when I'd be with my friends, the difference between like 2006 and 2012 is hanging out was so much more. Before it was no technology around. We're hanging out. We're talking. We're taking, again, where I say Instagram, people are taking real camera photos. When I say Twitter, we're saying our ideas and getting into
Yeah.
real life debates and arguments at a bonfire or a hangout. When I say, you know, TikTok, the goofy stuff that you're doing, but you're just doing it to impress yourself and your friends, not
Yeah.
the internet. So we were all doing that. And then all of a sudden, that stuff just stopped. And like we were still young. I was like your age. You guys still do young person stuff, you know? I'm sure you guys get in trouble and stuff. Why not? But like all that kind of just started slowing down because every time it would happen, I would look around and 7 people were just,
Yeah.
it got silent. I'm like,
Yep.
what are you guys doing? And they're like, hold on, I gotta send this text. Hold on, did you
Yeah.
see this meme? And then now
Yeah.
they sucked all the air out of the room and they're in the social media reality. And now I am the weird,
Yeah.
you know, oddball out. I'm the enigma. I'm like, I don't fit in. So you're saying full circle, you're forced to like
Yeah.
join. Otherwise you don't have
Oh,
a reality.
yeah.
You don't know what's going on. When someone says a joke in the hallway at school talking about the thing last night, everyone's like, ha, and they look at you and you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, the only way around it is to let that play into your character. as a person, to be the person who doesn't know what's going on, but everyone's still cool with them. They make fun of you. You make fun of yourself. Yeah, I don't know. I'm on social media. I have no what's going on. You guys let me know. Who cares? And you have to, but that takes a very outgoing, charismatic person.
Yeah.
Like I've always owned it and like let it happen to me that way. And so everyone, my friends know that. I've always been like the anti everything type of stuff. Group chats, I don't do them. All that stuff.
Yep.
If I want to talk to you, just come over. We'll have a party. That'll be the group chat. But that's me. So it's harder for someone that's 21 and kind of, you've been in it, you said since 5th grade?
Yeah.
10 years, 10, 11 years. Yeah, that's hard because your brain's developing through puberty with it. It's like fusing to how you are.
I feel like DIY culture has shaped us, though.
Yeah.
In an amazing way.
That's great.
In an amazing way.
It definitely, I feel like I've like gained more relationships with people through just going to shows than I ever have like in high school or anything. Like
Right.
building like these meaningful relationships, like where it's like with us like booking shows, like we're friends with bands. It's like they can help us out. Like I don't know.
Maybe a good way to connections. We could talk about the controversy with issue 2 and what happened with the venue.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Okay.
What happened?
Okay.
Do you want-
Controversies, breaking
Okay.
news.
So this plays off of what Jess was talking about in terms of the bonds we've built and the people.
Okay. So for
Please take
issue
it
2, we were
And when this comes out next week?
Yes,
It comes out
April 27th.
Saturday. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We were trying to figure out where we're going to have the issue 2 release show. Could not figure it out. Matt had interviewed. Did you interview him? Or
No, I didn't interview him.
Well, he knows the guy who owned the skate park in Elgin.
Indoor skate park.
Indoor skate park.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really
And
sick.
so we're like, oh, let's have it there because there's been a couple other shows there. So we go there. We're talking to the guy. He tells us it's $500 to rent it out for the night, and he gets half of the cover fee, which at the time we're like, okay, yeah, that sounds awesome. Like, that's horrible. And we didn't know that at the time. So we're going around telling everyone.
That's a crazy. That's a crazy pitch.
We're going around telling everyone, "Oh yeah, we booked this show," and then
How much were the tickets supposed
they
to
were
be?
going to
We're
be
doing $10
$10.
cover.
10. So
Yeah,
he gets
so he
five
get
of
five, and
every
we
$10
get-
ticket plus $500.
yeah.
And how many people do you like anticipate going to that type of event?
Honestly, around 200 is like projected for.
So he would get
issue 2.
$1,500 to do nothing.
Yep.
for one
and
night?
he said he wasn't even going to be there.
Nice.
So
Someone else will like run it while he's not there.
I guess so.
Wow.
So then we were at.
Okay, so we should say that we booked this the beginning of January.
We booked it.
Okay,
at the
so
beginning of January. Yeah.
we booked the show at the beginning of January
for April 27th.
for April 27th. Fast forward to about a couple weeks ago.
To a couple weeks ago. Well, actually, okay, after we booked this show, a couple of people have come up to us and they were like, hey, you don't need to have your show there. Like, you can get your money back and have it somewhere else because people aren't coming to the skate park for the show at the skate park. They're coming for the bands and for the zine. And we're like, we already put down the deposit, so we got to have it there. So then...
And then they were like, yeah, you live and you learn.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, sorry about that. So then it's like 2 weeks before the show.
So like a week or about 2 weeks ago.
About 2 weeks ago, Matt sends me a screenshot of a text he gets from the owner, and he's like, hey, can I call you really quick? So he calls Matt, and he's like, yeah, my lease is up. Basically, the show's canceled. You're out of venue. So it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do now? So we literally panicked.
We kind of had
But you got your money back, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we
On the
did
end,
eventually.
yeah. So, do we want to take over from here?
Oh, yeah. Also, a key note, we went there in February to go, finalize things. And we were talking to him. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go out to Vegas and make some deals. So it's like, what were those deals that he was making?
You mean some bookies some money?
Yeah, like, that maybe this led to
Oh,
the loss
boy.
of the skate park
boy.
or something.
Yeah.
So where's the venue at now? That you're...
So we got super nervous because we've been hyping this show up. There's been a lot of
anticipation
for it. We've worked super hard for it. Our marketing's not like at all like what you're supposed to do. We just post funny memes every single day.
Yeah.
But it gets people
Funny to you guys.
yeah, right. Yeah, the like count sure doesn't. Yeah, no, but yeah, we post memes on our story. People say they love the memes. It's always like 23 days, 22 days, 21 days. We count down, and once when I got that text, I was at work, which fucking sucked when I got that because I had like an hour and a half left at work. I was like, I gotta think about this. Oh fuck, and I gotta work. But yeah, so we were a little prideful at first in the beginning. So we were like, the only people we're going to tell are the bands. So we only told the bands what happened.
Yeah.
We were like, all right, we're going to figure out what to do and everything. And everyone's like, oh, fuck, like this sucks. Like reach out to VFWs, here's a place you can go to. And it was just not panning out at all for the first like 2 days. So finally we posted an actual, not a story post, like an actual post on our Instagram and said, like, everything. We got, we can't have the show at Skate Syndicate anymore. We can't, we're out of venue. We need someplace. I'd say about 50 people reached out to us with ideas.
Way more. I would say way more.
That's awesome.
So many,
yeah.
All like it's like almost emotional how many like people reached out to us.
Yeah.
It's like people like the that show promotion the show promoters that I brought up earlier, bum shows, who were like when we were first getting into the scene, like they threw shows at like Logan Square Skate Park and everything, and then like getting into that, you look at those photos and you're like, that's like sick.
Yeah.
Like, that's like super cool, like these bands that are playing there. And like the bum shows was the people that put on those shows, and they're reaching out to us and saying, hey, you guys can have it here, you can have it here. So like they were helping us, and them helping us is like someone like them reaching out to help when we were like, all these guys are awesome. You know what I mean? It was like a surreal thing of them being like, hey, heard you guys need some help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just like super incredible.
So where are you having it?
It's now at our friend Skylar and Danny's house in a backyard in Streamwood, Illinois. And it's their backyard, but they call it Dollhouse DIY. DM the Brain Graffiti, Chicago.
There was a place that I used to go to, Dollhouse DIY, but it was in 2014. I was wondering.
Interesting.
I was wondering if that was that in Andersonville?
Maybe
it was on the north side.
That's a coincidence. I don't know. I think
it could be a coincidence.
I think it's just a crazy coincidence.
That
I
was
think it's
their
just a
name.
crazy coincidence.
Yeah, a good friend of mine helped run it. Yeah, so that's funny.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just nuts. I mean, the connections we've made, the people we've met, just all through the love of art and music, and
that's the best part about it.
Yeah, because it's like when I was going to when I was in high school, and I was into music and everything. I didn't know there was a scene going on because like we didn't. Of course, we didn't get into the scene until a year and a half ago. So we were in college, and I didn't realize that this stuff was going on in Elgin while I was in high school. And I had some best friends that I'm still friends with today from high school, but like they weren't really into music or anything. I am. They weren't really into the arts, but they're some of my best friends still, and I love them to death. And then like I always say that when Jess and I got into the whole music scene, it was something that we didn't realize that we needed. Yeah. Like I always wanted to be in a band, but then like I never thought like, oh, where are we going to play shows? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But like I always had the notion of wanting to be in the band. I never thought of a scene. I always thought about just being in a band. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like it's really inspiring, like, because when I'm on stage playing guitar and like you're not thinking of anything besides playing guitar and just the energy that you're feeling, and then like your friends are watching you and they're saying like, oh, amazing job and everything, and then like those friends that say good job to you are also in bands. Like, for example, I'm gonna shout out Fred, our great friend Fred, who one is in the band that is headlining our release show. He's in Night Freak. He's the drummer for it. He goes to Elgin Community College as well. I think he's a year older than us. I don't know. He's making our shirts, which is sick. He's a screen printer, so nice. He gets to make our shirts and everything. But seeing him perform is like it's like what also drives me. It's like seeing that drive that you have in like another person. Like when you see, because he's a drummer, when you see him play drums, it's like he could kill someone with those drumsticks. Like it's like I've never seen a, like besides Brian, who's in my band, who's an absolutely crazy drummer. Brian and Fred are like absolutely incredible. Fred is just like, because he's more of like a hardcore punk rock guy, but he's just so absolutely talented and just like I don't know. I just think about this. I don't know. It's crazy. Just like that love of music that he has, and just seeing that when he plays the drum kit is like it's incredible. Because I've been up in his face with a camera, taking pictures of him, and I got one of my favorite photos of of him flicking me off when I'm taking a photo. One of my favorite photos I've ever taken, and I shot it on film, and it's. Yeah, that was a bit of a tangent, but yeah, just seeing, just other people kind of share that same love of music with you, kind of like it gets me emotional sometimes because it's like I didn't have this in high school, I didn't have this in grade school, I didn't have that sort of community, and now you find that community, and it's like these are my people, these are my friends, these are it's like
it's just more at peace.
You
feel comfortable, they feel comfortable, it's win-win, and you grow and learn a lot, and because everyone's kind of going for the same thing, just trying to live in the moment, expressing themselves in any form of art. It does build a really great community. It's a weird community because it's a bunch of adults just doing creative stuff and like trying to collaborate and work together. But they're also doing a bunch of other stuff in their life. They have other jobs. Their careers might be in school, might have kids, might have a family. And then they turn and grow into like adults and have real problems, like being from where you guys were, and then being 13 years ahead in a very extreme way. It's strange to see like what happens to a DIY scene as it like breathes and ebbs and flows. But the essence of it and the fundamental like principles of it are always there. It's just people who don't have everyone else to be. Like they can't get in a big venue. They can't get their art up at a fancy exhibition. They don't have connections to the fine art world or the music industry. So they start off at the very bottom, sharing each other's drum kits and gear, getting electrocuted when they grab the mic and their guitar.
Exactly.
All these things. That's part of it. Just don't die.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's fun. It's fun. It's also like that slight rebellion against like the man when you're at a DIY venue and the high lifes are being sold illegally and everything's illegal. It's fun.
Maybe just because I'm young, but I do like the idea of like going against the institution a little bit. And maybe I'm a little maybe it's just like I said, maybe it's just because I'm young, but I do like
No.
feeling.
I can't help but do it often. I can't do it as much as I want to. Because you got to eat. So you got to get money.
Yeah, exactly.
But as often as I can, in anything I do, I definitely will do it and talk about it. I don't agree with a lot of what's going on in the world. I don't agree with a lot of the tax system. I don't agree with a lot with the way the arts are underfunded, or even just looked at the perception of it.
For sure.
Kind of looking like a thing for dreamers and whatnot. It's pretty messed up, considering every person ever uses art, they digest it, for entertainment. If you're not in the arts, you could be the most scientific person, you can be the most economic driven or government based person. You're still going to read something, listen to something, listen to music, listen to a podcast, wear clothes. These are all forms of art. So to think that there's no value in it, it's a strange misunderstanding that we have going on. But it's what's interesting about it is it creates the DIY pockets. Because there's not enough money and people don't have any access, it creates all these like against the grain punk rock type of things, DIY stuff, anti-establishment things. So I wonder what would happen if artists were taken care of and venues were more open, you were able to get into them. What would DIY scenes exist?
No, you probably wouldn't have good art, I think. You know what I mean?
I think the pressure is what makes the good art.
Exactly.
The fact that you can't get in and it forces you to try even harder. with your
Yep.
peers and to collaborate even harder.
Exactly. Because, I mean, it's like, it kind of creates that, like, oh, I'll show them. Like, I'm not, you
Yeah.
don't want, like, the thing that I'm doing, oh, I'll show you. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, for the most part, there's a couple exceptions, but for the most part, you still don't have longevity in the DIY thing. Because eventually, you want to play it to, say your band takes off, and you want to play to a bigger crowd. A DIY spot only gets so big.
Yep.
And say you get a more famous.
Yeah.
DIY
Yeah.
spots don't have security. What if someone starts to attack you
Yep.
before your show?
Yep.
Like these things are all real. You just don't have to deal with them at the very beginning stages. But eventually, you can't sustain them. So they're great. They're a great thing for that early stage, that like 18 to like 25. It's just so cool for that. I mean, even a little older, it trickles. I would still go to a DIY show. I'd play one. Will I put on an event here? No. I did that hundreds of times. I will do it at other places, though. I have all the equipment to do it. I'll just do it if someone like had a skate park outside and like, hey, you want to put a show in here? All right, I got some speakers. We could do that, But yeah, as far as people coming into my house to have 100 people in this room, no.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That'd
The
be it.
plumbing alone, what it does.
Yeah.
The damage. All the like little, the little parts around like your door, anywhere where people to move through, the scratches and damage that build up over thousands of times.
Yep.
Yeah. It's anyone who has an event at their house, I have sympathy for them as well, and I respect it.
Yeah, my bassist, who I said, Noelle, she runs the dark room. Yeah, she's told me many times, like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, I just hate when people disrespect my house.
And there's nothing you could do about it because they're
Yeah.
going to. It's not their house. Everyone's raised different. Alcohol and drugs interact with people's minds in different ways. Some people, it's their first time drinking, and they're 19, they just went out, and they make a fool of themselves. Like, all those things will happen, but now you're having a DIY show, it's going to happen at your house. So all the experimental nonsense that teenagers and young adults do, well, now you're just inviting it to happen at your house with no repercussions because there's no insurance, there's no security, there was no permit. So you have this awesome freedom, but then you have to deal with all the repercussions of the responsibility of the freedom.
Yep.
And yeah, I learned that very well. I mean, I didn't participate in any alcohol or drugs for any of the events I've ever had. All of them, 100% of them. Just not that I didn't want to party with all my friends. I just knew in order to get it done, you got to be sober. When the police come, you got to be sober. When the neighbor comes complain, you got to be sober. Because I have to interface with these people. And they'll lose all respect the second you're not taking it seriously. Like, oh, you guys are just like every other college student, party over,
Yep.
But if you talk to them and rationalize, like, listen, I'm sober. We're trying to have an art event. We're trying to raise money for these touring bands. They might be like, that's not so bad of an idea. All right, keep it down. Hopefully you don't get a complaint again. But if I'm like slurring my words, it's fine.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Then it's done. So like those little things, you can't expect a lot of 20-year-olds to be that mature.
That's what we're
And
nervous about for our Brain Graffiti show. That's funny enough. We were just having this conversation on the way here.
But I mean, also with how it's set up, it's gonna end early. It's
because it's outside.
Well, that's a big win. Outside, you lessen all of the sound is louder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you lessen all the damage people can do to your house.
Exactly.
You're on a yard,
Yeah, we're just we're nervous that cops are going to be called. We're nervous that the bands that aren't going to be able to play.
They're not going to be able to play?
Yeah, or just like if the cops get called, you know what I mean? The bands won't be able to play.
It's in Streamwood?
Yeah.
Do you know the people there?
Like at the house? Oh yeah, there are really good.
And they
friends
said
of
they
ours.
have events all the time, or no?
they've had a few. They said
don't worry. They told us basically don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they said don't worry. But still, we're the
Of
anxious type that
course,
we're always going
yeah.
to think about it.
I mean, do they know their neighbors? Because a good thing you do is go talk to them.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
no. They said, Skylar and Danny said, you guys don't gotta, don't worry about it. You're all good. But of course, even we are gonna be like, oh, I hope they don't come.
I know. After everything that's happened, like with this issue, we're like, if something else goes wrong,
I might cry.
I don't know.
You have to. There's a way around that, and it's you get to know every neighbor well, but mostly you get to know the cops, which is really funny.
Interesting.
My funny thing about having had done that for 10 years with a festival is the anti-establishment philosophy that the DIY underground artist has, which is like, for lack of better phrasing, like, fuck the cops, right? Except when you want to do anything beyond DIY outside of a basement, you actually need the cops.
Yeah.
If so many artists are against the cops, do they like the Pitchfork Music Festival? Do they like Riot Fest? Do they like Lollapalooza? I'm sure you guys like those places. Maybe you've been to them, maybe you haven't.
We've never been to a festival.
If you have, you probably enjoy it. The music's great. It's fun. What I'm getting is a lot of people who are against police go to those events.
Yeah.
All those events are ran by the police. So it's funny. So you have to get over your own ego of what category you fit in the left to right spectrum of all made up bullshit of politicalness, and realize like if you want the thing to happen, you have to circumvent your thoughts. You have to go around your feelings of what you think of the pigs, the 5-0. And actually you have to collaborate and work with them. You have to work with the city, you have to get permits, the alderman, everyone that is the establishment that you're against when you're in a DIY community, you actually have to face them all and become friends with them. Otherwise, you can't grow beyond the basement, the warehouse, the living room, or the backyard.
Yep.
Funny you bring that up because another one of our shows that we're planning over the summer is we're planning because this is still in the very early stages of development. We're planning a show at Logan Square Skate Park. We talked with the head of like the Logan Square Skate Park committee who's putting up the money to try and get it renovated and everything, and we had a talk over the phone like hey, we want to put this event on, and the suggested donation will go towards the fund and everything, and they love the idea, and it'd be really cool to. So yeah, we have to. That will be our first brush with getting permits and stuff from like aldermans and stuff like that. So
it sucks.
I'm anxious. I know, right? I'm anxious and excited about it.
Yeah.
Just because we've never done it before, so.
It's cool because what it does is it forces you to be put into a box, and now you have to be creative and think outside of the box you're put into.
Yeah.
Because the beautiful thing about a DIY space, no matter how big or small it is that open freedom to do whatever you want in that space, right? That's great, but when you have confines, like you have to go to a venue or a skate park, now it's great for your creative muscle if it starts to get a little atrophied. Because it forces you to be like, okay, we have the permits and these rules. We have to be done by 10 p.m. That's the sound ordinance. Now, what can we do with all this in between all these rules? And then you can really start to thrive and grow. These restrictions are not necessarily restrictions, but they're almost like they're like these guides that you can use to like bumpers for like bowling. You can still bowl, just don't hit the bumper.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that. You could still like have fun and do the thing. You just have to be a little bit more particular and insightful and careful. That's all.
Yeah,
Just not to break whatever thing you signed, But that's about it. It's definitely not as fun. It's not as exhilarating to do all of it without permits and insurance and risk thousands of people potentially suing you. That is exhilarating. But I don't recommend that on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have an experience like that before, you don't want to experience it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, do the permits, insurance, all that stuff. It'll be worth it. You'll sleep at night.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
There was that other story about we brought up earlier about how we recently had by recently I mean in like the past couple of days we had
oh my god
a moment where where our minds were like, all right, let's step back from all these big plans we have and maybe just start to grow a little bit more. Okay, so we were at a show a couple days ago, and this pretty big band was gonna play. They became pretty big, and they're a Midwest emo / scrams band. That's all I'm gonna say to give away who it is.
Where was the shot?
Should I even say?
It was at Subterranean.
Upstairs Subterranean.
Upstairs Subterranean.
Yeah.
You said it's a band that's blowing up right now?
They're kind of.
They're getting bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what day of the week was this?
When was this?
It was a Friday.
It was Friday. Last Friday.
It was last Friday.
So we were.
I'm trying to figure out what it is. Was it the late show after an early downstairs show?
Oh.
I don't know.
Was
I
it
don't
sold
know.
out?
It was sold out.
This is like Akinator.
What was the average person's age there? you think?
16. Everyone
Okay.
there was very young.
How many girls are in the band?
None. There's no
None.
girls in the
Okay.
band.
No girls.
Okay. How old do you think the people are in the band?
I don't know.
I would say like late 20s.
Late 20s.
Late 20s.
Are they
Yeah.
from Chicago?
No. They're touring. They've been on tour for
Yeah.
like a month.
I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Okay.
Why can't you say who it is?
They're not going to listen to this.
I mean,
but I don't
I
You
don't
have
wanna-
something negative to say about
yeah.
them?
Not
so-
negative.
well,
No, it's not
something-
negative.
Then you don't have to
We're,
say.
we're not gonna be negative about it.
Tell me. You
'cause-
can
Oh,
tell me
yeah.
after if you don't
Okay,
have your
yeah,
word.
yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
it. I get
So
it.
we've been in contact with the band to do an interview for issue 3, and they were totally receptive about it.
And they seem super into
And
it.
they seem super
over
down
DMs.
for it, like over the DMs. Of
Yeah.
course, that's DMs. Who knows? You know what I mean?
I remember when I discovered what DM meant. It was like 3 years ago. I was like 30. I was like, that's what that means.
That's what DMs mean.
Because I don't. Again, that's a pop cult.
Yep.
DM. It's a shorthand thing.
Yep.
I don't. All of it. Like when I
Yep.
say I don't understand. Like I'm talking all of it. All the acronyms. I don't know any of them.
Okay.
When people do an acronym, I just say the word. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is.
Direct message.
Just say it.
We direct a
No,
message.
I know that now. I'm giving you a hard time.
We-
It's just. It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we DM'd them, and
Yeah.
they were super. They seemed super into it.
Yeah, like we showed them the pages. They were like, "These are so sick." Like, come up to us at the merch booth. I'm gonna be working the merch booth all night. One of the members in the band, and just come up to us and we'll figure it out. So
So
We did that.
So we went up to the merch booth, and we were like, hey, right? I said the person's name, and he's like, yeah, and he was like, maybe we should have went to him at a different time because I think he just walked in. He was taking out all the shirts and putting them up on the rack and everything, and I was like a little shaky. I was like, we're Matt and Jess from Brain Graffiti, and just because this is me, I was expecting a little more of a, oh hey, how you doing? You know, it was more. He was like, yeah. After I said that, he was like, yeah, and I was like, oh, I was wondering if you still wanted to do the interview, like, whenever you want to do it. And he's like, it'd probably be after the show. And I was like, okay, thank you. He's like, yeah, and then that was it. We
And
never talked to
then-
them.
Never did the
Yeah.
interview.
No,
he just did not seem into it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was just really awkward.
it was so awkward
After.
at that moment. So Jess and I are like the type of, we're like the same person, okay? But so my mind, after that happened, I was like, why am I even doing Brain Graffiti? Why am I even doing this? Like, this
Why'd
is,
you feel that way?
I just go to the extreme.
Yeah, we both just go to the extremes.
Oh,
all
don't
the-
do it.
I know.
Yeah.
No extremes.
I know.
Whatever. So whenever you go to the extreme, whenever you feel that, just take it and then flip it 180 degrees so you're back at the very not extreme, the bottom, and just know that that's baseline. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
No one. Everyone dies. Life goes on. No one
Yep.
cares. I mean, people care. I don't mean no one cares about
I
you
know-
or what you're doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean in the grand schemes of like the little tiny minute mistakes and hiccups of everything like that, no one even knows that happened. That guy's not going to
Yeah.
remember. He's probably acts that way every time he's playing a show. Who knows? Maybe he had a bad day. Maybe he just got a bad text from
Yeah.
his partner. You know,
That's true.
You know, you never
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah, he
it's
was
like-
smiley the whole night. I kept staring at him. He was like really smiley about everything.
So he was
Yeah.
smiling, but just not in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe, who knows? You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's great advice, and I'm definitely gonna be
Yeah.
doing that. But like in that moment, I was like, because that was also the day after I went to go check out Columbia. My mind is just so extreme. Like my anxiety is just so extreme. I'm like, do I even want to go to Columbia anymore?
Yeah, I mean-
I just. But then you know, at the end of the night, I'm like, why'd I think that?
Yeah.
It was just in the moment.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
I mean, it was just a hard thing for me because, like, I love this band.
I
Like,
can't wait to find out who it
they
is.
were like, I feel like they were like one of the first, like, kind of like screamo type bands I got into
What?
a
How
little
old
bit.
are they?
Like, I don't know,
Have they been around for a while?
they like got
They
popular.
got big off of social media.
They
Oh.
got popular
yeah,
and
they
like
got big off of social
I have
media.
no idea then.
Yeah,
they got popular like probably like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
they're from Southern California.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea. No idea. That could be so
Yeah.
many different bands.
Yeah,
A lot of
Yeah.
bands get popular off social media.
yeah, a lot too.
A lot too. Yeah. I remember it's funny whenever one of my students, like first day of class, no matter what class, you know, we talk about icebreakers, where you're
Yep.
from, things like that. And some students always ask, like, oh, like, who's like the biggest band you ever worked with? I'm like, I hate that question. Because first of all, you have to like quantify it by like maybe how many streams they have.
Yep.
Or, you know.
Like to you, who's the biggest?
Yeah,
fan?
well, I think they mean like popularity. like,
Exactly,
numbers,
yeah.
like Instagram and Twitter followers and stuff. And I'm always like, Beach Bunny, and they're always like, oh Beach Bunny, you know Beach Bunny. I'm like, guys, when you work with like 10,000 bands over like 15 years, you don't remember.
Wait, you worked with Beach Bunny? That's actually pretty cool. That's pretty cool, though.
They played right there, DZ Festival.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right before they blew up on social media, on
That's cool.
TikTok, they blew up.
Yep.
And they got really big. And, you know, plenty of bands have gotten bigger. I mean, they've gotten freaky big compared to the other ones. They by far are the ones that have gotten the most numbers on streaming and following on the internet out of any band I've worked with.
Yeah, she's from Elgin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of our friends know her.
Mm-hmm. And her first show as Beach Bunny, I believe, was with my friend's band that I set up that show at the Ashbury in May 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And they opened up with my friend's band. I was busy in the city working another DIY event, filming and recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know the band Home Burial?
Home Burial?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, because they're from Elgin, and we were playing our final. They were playing their final show a couple months ago at, funny enough, Syndicate Skate Park. We're playing their final show there, and my band was on the bill with them, and she was actually there because she knew Home Burial. So
nice.
yeah, it was kind of cool. I didn't go and say hi to her. I was just
I know.
I was like, no
Just-
fucking way.
It's just like, damn, we're in the same room as her.
like, damn, we're in the same
My
room.
God. I have fun stories.
Oh no.
No, I just I've seen some things, but
Yep.
the thing you said about like getting anxiety and like wanting to quit. Think about whenever that happens. Think about, for both of you too, and this goes for anyone listening. Think about all the other times people said yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Be
You know, because you're
be
gonna
glass
get
half full,
you're
not
gonna
glass
get
half
no's.
empty.
Yeah.
I have
Yep.
now my level of no's I still get no's, but who I'm reaching out to is so much higher now. Like when I'm reaching out for something big,
Yeah.
it tends to be like very popular of serious hitters in the industry. So I still expect no's, but now at least people will respond. You know, most of the time I'll get a response.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you how many emails have not responded to me, which is fine. I mean, it's
Yep.
not fine. I respond to almost every email, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's just rude, but
Yeah.
whatever. It happens. So, yeah, you just, all the times that people say no, think of all the times they've said yes. You know? And
Exactly.
if you really are trying and you're in a good community, which it seems like you both are, you're going to get way more yeses than no. But you're going to have no's. You just got to be like,
Yeah.
that's just, it's a numbers game. You got to think, if I get like 80% yes, and like you're beating Vegas odds, like you're killing it. If you're getting 80% of every time you reach out to somebody. So that means you have to learn how to deal with those 20% of no's.
Yep.
You know, as long as you can keep the ratio 51-49 or bigger, like as long as it's slightly more yeses than no's, you could sleep at night. You just got to remember that, like, it's a numbers game. You're not going to get all of them. I send out so many emails. They respond, but not everyone can do the thing. And
Yep.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll try the next person.
Yep.
Sometimes they can't do it because of life. They're on tour. They don't like interviews. They're kind of, antisocial, and they
Yep.
just don't want to talk to people. Like, they don't have to give you an answer, So just be okay with the micro failures. They're not,
No, yeah, for sure.
you didn't
Yeah.
lose at life. It's just somebody said no to
Yeah.
one thing. You just come up with another idea and you keep moving. And I promise you, as you keep doing all this stuff and it grows, those no's become less and less, and the people you get to reach out to, communicate with, get more and more
Exactly.
serious and have a lot more to them.
I think what stung
Yeah.
the most, it was the first big band.
Yeah.
That's you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Because it was
yeah.
the biggest band that ever like gave us a reaction.
Sure.
I guess when we DM'd them, and they were the first bigger band that seemed like they were down to do it.
Yeah.
And then it was the first no also.
Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah.
also nervous. Well, we're both also nervous because we're going to go see another pretty big band in a month at B Kitchen. I think I'll say. I mean, the Fleshwater and Modern Color. I don't know if you know who those bands are.
I've heard of Modern Color, not
Yeah.
Fleshwater.
Fleshwater is incredible. I check them out. They're really
Fleshwater.
good.
Yeah.
Fleshwater, they're so good.
They dress up as like piranhas or something.
Sharks.
Sure. You didn't think about it.
But yeah, so we reached out to Modern Color to do an interview, and they also got back to. That's one of my favorite bands right now. Like, I love their music so much, and the same thing they said. You guys can meet us at the show, and we'll we'll just like, no problem. Just meet us at the show. Since that happened with the band, I really don't want to have that happen again with.
So
Modern
here's
Color.
a little hack if you don't know already that you can do. Do you know like the timing and the sequence of when a band is on tour when they arrive, everything they do up into the show? Once you learn that, you can like find the most convenient way to say it to them. You're almost handing them the interview because now they don't have to think too hard. So bands, they're living a crazy life on tour. If these are touring bands, it's insane. They usually have to have a load-in at a venue. It depends on the venue. It's probably between 3 and 5, depending on the venue, especially if it's a 18-plus show. They're playing later at night. If it's a 21-plus show, the load-in might be like 7 because the show might not be till 10. But usually it's going to be like between 3 and 5. Say it's 4. It means that the load-in at 4. And then if you know if they're headlining.
They're not headlining.
If they're not headlining, are they middle or are they?
They're middle.
So if they're the middle, that means they're going to do their sound check in the middle. Okay. The headliner does it first.
Yeah.
Then the middle, then the opener goes last. So if they're in the middle, they're going to have some time after their load-in, before their sound check, and then after their sound check, before doors. So just say when you reach out, like, hey, if you have time for like, how long do your interviews usually last? 20 minutes?
Like
half an hour to an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Depending on how long the people want to
right.
talk.
Mm-hmm.
You could say like, hey, we have 30 minutes to 60 minutes to talk. Is there a time in between your load-in and sound check, or after your sound check and doors that works best for you? Do you have a Zoom recorder? You just write it
Voice
down?
memos.
Voice memo.
Yeah.
And to really solidify it, like, can we do the interview in your green room or like in the tour van or like in an alley? Like somewhere that forces them to have to like make a place to meet you instead of being like, oh, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
No, then they're getting on their bus and leave. They're not going to figure it out.
Yeah. It's just, I guess we're empathetic that I'm like, they've been on the road for so long, how their mental state's going to be.
Yeah.
Like, how are they're like, I don't want to do this stupid zine. You know what I mean? But again, that's just how I'm thinking.
But they might want to do it because it's free promotion for them.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that in the car, by the way. When we get what you just
said,
we're gonna message
them.
on what you just said.
Yeah, no, do that.
Yeah.
And don't do it unless they go, we will do it after, we promise, and they like don't do it after because they're tired.
Exactly.
And they might want to hang out with friends. Maybe friends are visiting in town. The friends came on the guest list. Now they want to see old friends because they're in Chicago. Chicago's a big city. You got to think when a band comes into town, they probably have people on their guest list that they're hanging out with in the green room, going to get drinks, going back to the bus. They're not hanging around the venue to do interviews unless it's a small venue and a small band and it's local and they're staying there. They're not going to the next place. Then you could probably get an afterwards venue interview, but probably unlikely. But are they on tour, this band?
Yes.
Then before.
Yeah.
If they're still local, and like if I was playing the show at Beat Kitchen and I'm second band and I'm done at like 9:45, it's not that late. It's a Saturday. It's like not that late. I could probably stay and do an interview in the green room real quick, But would I rather have done it at 5:30?
Probably.
Before I got drunk?
Yeah,
before
for sure.
I ate food? You know what I'm saying? Before I did everything? Yes. Yeah. Before I have to do my laundry or take a shower, before So just offer that, like, hey, between load-in and sound check or between sound check and door, those are the two windows that they'll always have. And it's usually 30 minutes to 2 hours. It could be. It could be a lot depending on the venue. Do you have time for a 30-minute to 60-minute, interview?
When do you think we should? Because the show is May 16th. When should we ask them these questions?
I mean, you should always just first confirm if they're interested,
They said, more or less, they said they're interested.
If they're interested, then pitch that idea. Just let us know it works for you. These, whatever time window works for you. But like by telling them that they already know about those windows, but by stating it and telling them, it reinforces that exists. They know that you now know it exists. They know it exists, and now you can kind of make it work together.
Yeah.
Before that, all this stuff lives in a fairy tale land. Common people don't know about these very specific schedules and times and lifestyles. But once you know it, you can find the best ways to attack it, and then use the language to make them feel a bit more comfortable and not so like, because then it also shows that you know what you're talking about, and you're not some like. Nobody who doesn't understand how serious this is in their time. Like you're using terminology and phrasing that they're like, oh, this person knows about loaded.
Yep.
And like this, even how we do headliner goes first and then middle and then first goes last, all that stuff is really helpful to know. They'll respect you more that you actually care to know like how this stuff works, Yeah. But it's okay. I mean, I didn't know this stuff at your age, so. But yeah, it helps a lot.
Thank you for letting us know that. That seriously helps a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I'll be texting you questions.
Anytime. When it comes to this type of world, it is what I've been doing a very long time and continue to still do and love to do. So I'm always happy to, give advice. And there's people who've been doing it longer, and I get advice from them. I learned a lot of this from older folks that have been in this scene since they're in their 40s. They've been in the scene for 20, 30 years. They told me a lot. And just doing it and talking to bands. Every time I do a live video session here, like in a very simple way, I interview the band. I don't do it officially, but while they're setting up, I'm just asking questions. Where are you from? How long did it take you? Like all these things can help to build this world of like what they do, what things mean, how they operate, all these things. It just comes with communicating. So keep communicating with the people you work with and just don't be afraid to ask questions. And again, don't be afraid of hearing no. No just means, it's an obstacle. It means an opportunity. Now, how do I turn that into a yes at some point in the future? Just find the new path to it. It's not necessarily like an end-all, be-all. You should stop what you're doing, Anything else you guys want to promote or say before we end? We've been talking for 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Wow. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, right? Isn't that crazy?
What are we promoting? Well, I think the release show would have been best.
Yeah. I mean,
check out stuff for
submissions.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah. So we will be posting, or how should I say this? Because I don't know how I should say this.
Like, check our Instagram to see, because we're opening submissions for issue 3 for the first time ever.
That's cool.
So any band can just submit and answer the questions.
There's 2 prompts for questions to be asked, and I don't know how much traffic. We don't know how much traffic it's gonna get. You know what I mean in terms of bands, but go at it. If we get 100 responses, we're making a 200-page zine.
Yeah.
That was a joke.
I'll tell my friends to reach out too.
Please,
the band I'm in. I'll tell my lead guy. Be like, hey, if you're interested, reach out.
That'll be on our Instagram, or is on our Instagram, depending on when this is out.
Hopefully, I don't know. I gotta figure out when Instagram comes back.
We hope to post about submissions May 1st.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So check our Instagram for any updates about the open submissions for issue 3, and just check out the cool stuff that we're gonna be doing over the summer. We're planning a lot of stuff, a lot of dopes, a lot of really cool stuff in Chicago, Milwaukee, Central Illinois, some
Peoria, Bloomington,
Champaign. Hopefully Indianapolis, but yeah, just check our Instagram. That's where all of our updates are.
And it's Brain Graffiti.
Brain Graffiti Chicago.
Brain Graffiti Chicago on Instagram, and anywhere else.
Facebook, yeah, but that's just for like my mom and like
grandma. Make sure that you're still alive.
Yeah.
This is really cool stuff. I love it. I've been a big fan of collage and writing and photography and music for a long time. So to put all of it together, really cool stuff, and how custom it is and original.
Thank you.
I love it, and I always just love the promotion of art through your own art. Being someone who does a lot of that, I always like it because you still get to be creative, but you're also shining light on other people.
Yeah.
And then they do it back to you because they now bring what you did around the country on their tours, and now other people find out about your stuff. So it's a win-win. It's not a selfless or a selfish act. It's a great act all around. So thank you both for doing this kind of stuff. I love it.
Of course.
Keep doing it. You're young. Don't get cynical. Be strong. Be brave. No is yes. Yes is yes. Everything's yes.
Everything is yes.
Unless it's no.
Then it's no.
Then it's no.
Yeah.
Then it's no.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Consent is what I'm talking about. Then it's no. Cool. Anything else before we bounce? Before we end?
Long live DIY.
Long live DIY.
Thank you to everyone who likes our stuff.
Yeah,
Thank
everyone
you.
who's
Thank-
helped us.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you for having us on.
You're welcome. Thanks for reaching out.
Of course.
When was
Yeah.
that? That was a while back.
Yeah, because I first got into it when we listened to Dan's
Yeah.
when he was on, and then we listened to Trash's. That one was interesting. That one
Yeah.
was nuts. That was just a roller coaster ride.
It was.
I love Trash.
Trash is great.
If you
Yeah.
call him Trevor, do you guys know him well or at all?
He came out to one of
We
my
literally
swimsuit shows
saw
the other day.
him.
We saw him a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Yeah, I
He's
love
great.
calling him Trevor. He gets really upset. You have to call him Trash.
You have to call him Trash. Yeah,
He's a blessing. I love that man.
he's great.
He's
So
great.
funny, charismatic, personal. I love him.
Yeah. Yeah, but then when you get to know him, he's so self-conscious. He's just like, is that a good show? Was I good? Did I
Yeah,
do good?"
right.
It's like, dude,
Yeah.
you killed it. You're insane. You're great. You're amazing. I love him.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you both for being here.
Thank
Everyone
you.
check
Thank
out
you.
Brain Graffiti Chicago on Instagram and Facebook. Keep an eye on their upcoming issue that comes out next Saturday, April 27th. So it's going to be out already when people hear this, but again, check it out,
Yeah.
Brain Graffiti.
Yeah.
Please do.
And yeah, again, thank you both for coming here. Keep doing your thing. I'm
course.
excited to see what you do in the future.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
with everything. Good luck at Columbia.
Thank you.
Good luck at Cosmopology School?
Cosmetology, yeah.
Cosmetology?
Yeah.
Cosmetology. Almost sounds like Cosmopology. Would that be?
That sounds like you're saying. I don't know why I thought of like Neapolitan ice cream. when
I
you
thought of the
said that.
same thing.
I'm thinking of cosmology, like space.
Oh.
But yes, I see it.
You said you're into that as
Yeah.
well. Space.
All right. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Ciao.